In this part you gonna see.
領域展開
What's up? Ghost Fictions is here, and we're back again. This is a story where Issei was the reincarnation of Gojo and Yuji. But before we start, please consider subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. Don't forget to check the description for more informations. Also, this is a translate version, you may find some mistakes, specifically in the character's gender. Issei of course is a male, this time no changes in the gender. Well, with that out, let's get into part 2. A few days had passed, and Issei did not tell Juliet anything, so as not to worry her. She was happy in her new life with Issei and Ravel, and also Fenrir who little by little got along well with the girl. Issei was in his room while both girls were in the living room watching a movie. Issei. Alex, you have everything. Alex. Yes, don't worry, I'll be home early tomorrow morning, don't worry, I'll do my part. Issei. I trust you and I know you are the best. Minutes later the call ended and Issei left the room and went to the kitchen to prepare dinner while listening to the laughter of the two girls. The next morning Issei did not go to the academy as he had called it a day and went to the airport to meet his friend. Half an hour later they both went inside. Alex. I'm ready and before that I'm sorry about Alicia. Issei. Don't worry about it, it's in the past. Alex. In honor of my great friend who was your uncle, we will win. Issei. Let's go in 3 hours and I really want to finish this quickly. Alex just nodded and they both took the road where they went to eat something first and then they talked a little later. Issei went to buy a suit since he didn't have one and the time passed and they both went to their destination. When Issei arrived he saw Mickey and Garu with several people around them, but Issei didn't take it seriously and continued on his way. Minutes later they were both in front of the judge. Okay and be quiet to start this meeting. Judge. Well today we are going to discuss about the case of the child Juliet Haidu where both Mrs. Mickey and her husband want custody. Okay, who is going to start? Alex. Judge, let's stop beating around the bush, it's obvious that they only want the child's fortune. How dare you talk like that? Judge. Silence and why are you talking like that? Alex. They didn't even know about the girl's existence until recently. Besides, as far as I know, she never contacted her sister and I know this because I was a friend of her husband. I saw that girl grow up as well as young Haidu Issei. Mickey. That's all you have to say. Alex. Of course not. Taking out several documents from his briefcase and giving them to the judge where he started to read them. Judge, are you going to believe this foreigner? Judge. From the way these documents are written, it is obvious that young Issei has custody of the child. Since his mother arranged all the papers. Eru. They must be fake. Issei. You think I came here to waste my time? The most I would give to this meeting is 10 minutes. Judge. I have better things to do and you come to waste my time and that of the young man here. Mickey. But he is a child. Judge. He is 20 years old, he has a stable job, and he owns many companies abroad. Both old men were surprised to hear that since they didn't know that. Issei. I told you I didn't waste my time. Judge. With this we are done with this, and young Issei is responsible for the girl. Crashing his hammer against the table and getting up and leaving the place. Issei and his friend left the place. Mickey. This won't stay like this. Issei. How many times have you said those words woman, I've lost count. Eru. You insolent brat, how dare you talk like that. Issei. Because I want to and I can. Turning around and going on his way just like Alex. Alex. She looks a lot like Alicia, but her attitude is very different. Issei. I know and I have to see her very often, you know I have it harder. Besides I just wasted your time coming here hahaha. Alex. It doesn't really matter, you are my godchildren. Issei. You want to see Juliet. Alex. Thank you but I won't be back today, the jet is ready. Issei. I see. Alex. And tell me, did you get a date? Issei. I didn't have time for that, but there is a girl who is a bit annoying and another one who is very serious. Alex. Ha, not the ones you like. I still remember when the three of us got together and you shouted at the top of your lungs that you would only have beautiful women. But you'll end up alone. Issei. You'll see that when we meet again I'll introduce you to him. Alex just nodded and at that moment the cab that Issei had called for him arrived and they both said goodbye. Issei walked a little bit thinking about what had happened in one weird moment. But then he smiled and went to the house to prepare a nice victory meal. The next day Issei returned to the academy where he passed in front of the two student council members. Issei. Well, I have good news for you guys, you are ready. Most of them nodded. Issei. I heard that last year you didn't go on your trip as usual, and this year you will go with the sophomores, isn't that great? Everyone was happy to hear that. Issei. There are good places to see, I am really excited to go. And Serio-sensei and that. Issei. There are many places where they sell good food and gifts. Several people heard his reasons, and only a drop of sweat came down their cheeks. At that the class started, and after a few hours came the recess where Issei went to the teacher's room and was surprised to see someone there. Issei. You are that Valkyrie girl, what's your name? Roswis. My name is Roswis, nice to meet you. Hi to Issei. Issei. And what are you doing here? Roswis. Not long ago I started teaching. Issei. I didn't know that, but it's a pleasure. You are also in the Gremory group as I notice. Roswis. They gave me the opportunity. Issei. I see. Taking the cup of coffee. Roswis. What kind of person are you since you did all that? Besides, you took your heart out. Issei. Ha 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 ha, you are curious, aren't you? Roswis. A little bit, and you'll tell me. Issei. Curiosity killed the cat, you know that, and if I tell you what I would do with you. Approaching her while Roswis took a few steps back. Issei. Don't be afraid, I won't do anything to you, and to your question, I don't know what you think. Some call me monster, beast, sorcerer, among others that I forgot. And what am I to you? Roswis. I don't know. Issei. I see. Well, it was nice to meet you, Roswis-sensei. Roswis. You are in the alliance, aren't you? Issei. Ha 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 ha, what a good joke. Roswis. I'm serious. Issei. Of course not. I am someone free, and why should I help you? I don't belong to any faction. Roswis. But they protect humans. Issei. Humans kill each other, the truth doesn't matter. I have no duty to protect anyone but my family. Roswis. You don't mind seeing someone die in front of your eyes? Issei. Not really. If he died, it was because he was weak. Roswis did not know what to say to such an answer, and Issei took advantage of his confusion to leave the place and did not want to continue with the conversation. Classes had already ended, and Issei left the academy quickly to go look for her cousin, where luckily she arrived on time since they were just leaving. Julieta. Issei Nai-san, you're here. Issei. And you think I was going to leave you waiting for me before I leave the class? Besides, I have a surprise for you. Juliet. What a thing. Issei. We'll go to Kyoto, isn't it great? Juliet. But I just started classes, I don't think they'll let me go. Issei. Don't worry, let me go talk to the principal. Juliet nodded, and at that Issei walked a little bit in front of the principal as he was dismissing the children. Juliet just watched the conversation without listening to anything, and at that she noticed how the teacher showed a big surprise on his face while Issei gave her a piece of paper. At the end Issei came back and took Juliet's hand, and they both left. Juliet. Issei Nai-san, what did you give him? Issei. Nothing matters. They went on their way. Meanwhile, the director was still in surprise when he saw a check for 50 million. 19. Both of them, when they arrived home, they didn't see Ravel, and at that Juliet went to change and Issei to make dinner. Minutes later Ravel arrived as Issei was setting the table. Issei. You're on time, dinner is ready. Ravel. Great, and thank you. Issei. Go change. Juliet. Ravel, one each hand quickly, this smells good. Ravel just nodded and went to her room, where minutes later she came out. Issei. Ravel, Juliet and I will be going to Kyoto since there will be a second and third year field trip. Ravel. I heard about that from the White Cat. And because you're taking the girl. Issei. I want her to explore with me. Besides, I promised to take care of her. Ravel. But she just started school. Issei. I already fixed that little detail. Besides, Juliet will be my successor. 1. Ravel. What do you mean? Issei. She's my apprentice because you think she wasn't surprised to learn about the supernatural. 1. Juliet. Issei Nai-san is great. Ravel. It won't be like your truth. Issei. That will be up to her when I give her my power. Ravel. Wait, how is that? Does your power give itself away? Issei. Sure, but only when I die, but if I want it can go to someone else who knows. Ravel. And why are you telling me that? Issei. The answer is easy, little Phoenix, is to tell the leaders. It's obvious that they asked you to watch me, right? Ravel, when he heard that, was a little more scared when he saw Issei's smile. Issei. I won't do anything to you, don't worry, right now you are under my care. Say whatever you want, I don't care. Ravel. You are very carefree, really. Issei. You only live once. Where he continued with his dinner just like the rest. The hours passed and everyone went to rest, except Issei, who was looking at the sky. Issei. It will be an interesting trip. Lying down in bed. The days passed and the day of the trip arrived, where the most excited were Issei and Juliet. The students did not know what to say because of their attitude, especially the sophomores, since they did not know what it was like. The third graders were embarrassed by the way he was and better get on the train faster. Issei. Oh, but it's Raswa-sensei and Crow-sensei. Azazel. You have nerve to talk to me like that. Issei. Ha 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 ha, I have plenty of courage. And don't talk nonsense, there are children present. Raswas. Who is the child? Juliet. I'm Juliet Haidu, I'm Issei's cousin Nai-san, nice to meet you One-san. Issei. Well, see you later, bye. Going with the girl to the train, taking a seat with another group. Issei. But what a surprise, nice to meet you little angel. Juliet. She's an angel. Issei. Yep. Irina. What a pretty girl, what's your name? Julieta. Julieta Haidu, nice to meet you. Irina. Nice name. Issei. You know, I gave it to her. 14. Irina. I see now that I remember, thanks for helping us that time. Issei. It's okay. Irina. It didn't hurt to cut his heart out. 3. Issei. Puff, not at all. Tell me what you want. Irina. You're kidding, right? Issei. What did she gain by lying? Juliet. Issei Nai-san, the One-chan loves you since she wants to have your heart. Issei. You see one who is handsome, hahaha. 8. Irina, hearing what he said, just lowered a drop of sweat. Juliet. You like Issei Nai-san? Irina. He's not really weird. Juliet. Sometimes he can be like that, but he is very kind. Irina. I see, I'm happy for you. Do you want your cousin to have a partner? 17. Julieta. Maybe this way my family is bigger. Since I only have Issei Nai-san. Irina. But you still have your uncles and cousins. Julieta. I only have Issei Nai-san and no one else, they are strangers. Irina. At least you know who they are, you shouldn't talk like that without knowing. Juliet. My Aka-chan told me about them and how they treated Issei Nai-san, I don't love them. Irina. You should get to know him first before you speak. 1. Juliet. Shidu-san. Irina was surprised to hear what he called her, since she thought he always gave her One-chan. Juliet. I believe in Issei Nai-san and no one else, so don't lie. She was about to say something, but then someone passed by. Takashi. Well, what a surprise. Issei. You're telling me. Takashi. So you are little Juliet, my little cousin. Nice to meet you, my name is Takashi Haidu. 2. Extending her hand but received no response as Issei was showing her a brochure where there were places to visit in Kyoto, where she was happily looking at. Takashi. It's rude not to answer your elders. Juliet. It's rude to interfere in private conversations. 15. Issei. That's the way to do it. Extending her 2 hands where Juliet high-fived them. 2. Takashi. It's your fault she acts like that. Issei. Julieta, did I tell you how to talk to them? Juliet. No, Issei Nai-san. Issei. You see. You better go, you might attract the attention of the other passengers with your tantrum. Takashi just clicked his tongue and left the place annoyed. Irina didn't know what to say about such a conversation. Issei. Don't listen to him little angel, although I can't say anything since he is your childhood friend. And tell me Juliet, where do you want to go first? Julieta. Anywhere. Hours went by where Issei and Juliet planned the places they would go, while Irina just listened. She wanted to talk to Juliet again, but she ignored her completely. After a long journey they arrived at their destination. Where Issei gave a big sigh. Issei thoughts. What a smell of trouble, this will be interesting. 21. Having a smile on his face and taking at Juliet's hand and going to the hotel where they were going to stay. It had been a day since the group arrived in Kyoto, where only upon arriving at the hotel Issei and Juliet left their things and went to explore where they were both having fun. Some people looked at Issei strangely for his childish attitude, but he didn't care about what other people thought. It was evening and they both decided to go to dinner, where to their surprise, there were 2 people there. Juliet. Serafo One-san, how are you? Both hearing that voice they searched for its source until they saw Juliet next to Issei. Serafo. Julieta-chan, how are you? Julieta. Very well, this has been a great day, we went to several places. And what are you doing here? Serafo. I came to have a meeting. Issei. We won't bother you, we'll go somewhere else. Juliet. Have a nice evening. Whereupon they both left the place. Serafo. And if we tell Issei what's going on? Azazel. Why should we if you know she will refuse? I'd rather not waste my time and concentrate on finding his ability. 14. Serafo. You better give up. Letting out a sigh. Issei. And how did you like the trip? Juliet. Very cool, everything is nice, plus at night there are lots of lights. Issei. I'm glad to hear that. Tomorrow there is a lot to do too. At that Issei noticed how Serafo and Azazel quickly left the restaurant. Juliet. Where are they going? Issei. No idea, it's better not to mess with them since they only get into trouble. Juliet. And you'll help them if that happens. Issei. Who knows, it's better to look for something to eat. Juliet just nodded and they both looked for something to eat. While elsewhere, more specifically in Kyoto Castle, the two heiresses together with their entourage were there together with Serafal, Azazel, Roswis and Irina. Waiting in the throne room for someone. Riaz. Serafal Sama, what's going on? Serafal. You will know soon. Ricky. I'm sleepy, let's go to sleep. Seconds later a girl came out with 99 tails and some who had seen her before were surprised. Takashi. You're the girl from this morning. Serafal. This is Princess Kunu. Kunu. Nice to meet you all and sorry for this morning, I thought my mother had been kidnapped. Irina. I mentioned it before. Kunu. My mother was kidnapped days ago and we have been looking for her, so I need your help please. Down. Sona. If you ask like that it's okay, we'll do our part to help her. Riaz. Count on me and my group. Irina. I'll do my best. Kunu. Thank you very much, I appreciate it. If you wish, you can stay for dinner. Most of them looked at each other and nodded and then went to the dining room. Meanwhile Issei and company had already finished dinner and decided to go to their room since Issei noticed that Juliet was sleepy, so he took her since they had a long day. When Issei put her to bed she quickly fell asleep and at that Issei walked to the window. Issei. What great energy there is out there. But I don't feel like going. How long will it take for the kids to discover that place? 1. Going to the bathroom to take a shower. The next day Issei and Juliet were having breakfast and Issei noticed how the young people were leaving the hotel quickly. He didn't take any notice and went on with his business. During the rest of the days the devils searched everywhere but they could not find anything and Issei just continued having fun with Juliet. That night Juliet was sleeping and Issei went out to the balcony to have a better view. Issei. So they finally found the place. I guess it took them longer than usual. This will be interesting to see what kind of enemies they will encounter. Jumping off the balcony and going to the place as he wanted to see the fight up close. Meanwhile in the place some had already reached their destination and without wasting time they went to attack as they wanted to save Yasaka. But it was no use as their enemies were much stronger than them. Issei for his part had already reached his destination watching the fight from a secluded place so as not to attract attention. But then he looked to the side and saw a stall where they sold traditional sweets and without wasting time he went down and bought some to see the fight better. Minutes passed and Yasaka took the form of a fox. Issei. This is great, it's the first time I see this. Seconds later, Ricky and Riaz arrived together with Kunu, who felt very sad when he saw his mother in that state. Ricky wasted no time in attacking to try to stop the enemy. Issei on the other hand, seeing how the girl looked sadly at the fox, noticed that they were both family. Issei. I didn't mean to interfere, but I can't let a girl suffer for her mother. 13. Remembering how Juliet cried for her mother not too long ago. At that Issei stood up and jumped to the fighting place. Takashi. You are not weak. Aorg. That's for me to say, but I notice you're running out of magic reserves. You should surrender and maybe I'll let you live, that's up to you. Takashi. I will never give up. I cast several spells. Jean. That's all you have, Angel-chan, this is boring, I expected more from you. Irina. Why are you doing this? Jean. To show who's boss so they stop underestimating humans. Irina. I won't let the Kunu suffer for her mother. Jean didn't answer and went on the attack with her sword. Ricky and Riaz were in front of the leader where they both had a few wounds. How cow. I expected more from you, Ricky, since I had been informed that you had defeated the god Loki, but I think they exaggerated. Ricky. Damn you, I'm going to kill you. How cow. Ha 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 ha, don't you know what I have in my hands? This is the true Longinus capable of destroying this world. And a reincarnated devil like you is thinking of defeating me. Riaz. You won't be able to handle that much. How cow. You'd better turn around and watch your companions continue to fight. Riaz quickly turned around and saw several of his comrades on the ground unconscious and some of them breathing heavily from exhaustion and with several wounds. How cow. I told you, Riaz Gremory don't stand a chance against us, the heroes faction. Sona. We are not going to give up, we just have to wait until reinforcements come. How cow. Yeah, whatever you say. Someone was about to say something until Issei beat them to it. Issei. They are going to fight or have a conference. They all looked to the right and saw Issei standing there with his hands in his pockets, while in one of them he had a bag. Ricky. What are you doing here? Issei. I stopped by to buy some things and I heard a noise. Don't you think it's too late to be fighting? You'll wake up the neighbors and the good kids go to sleep early. How cow. Who the hell is this brat? Issei. More respect, kid, didn't your parents teach you any manners? But just by looking at your face I can tell you didn't have any. 3. Cao when he heard that he got more upset and went to attack with his spear, and when he was about to hit Issei stopped the tip of the spear with just one finger. Issei. What an energetic brat, it's time for someone to bring you down from the clouds. Showing him a smile where Cao didn't know what to say as he only felt a human aura coming from Issei. He in turn threw his bolt to Sona. 3. Issei. Take care of her. The other members of the heroes faction had already finished with their rivals, leaving them unconscious, and when they saw how a human with no power at all stopped Cao's attack they were surprised. Issei. Well, since you are all present I will give you a cooking class. I hope you will pay attention to me, since this class will be very special. Having a big smile where both Sona, Riaz, Ricky and Drake could feel fear as it reminded them of when he fought against Loki. Cao. Huh. What? He didn't finish as Issei took the spear and pulled him towards him, where his fist formed a black and red fire and hit Cao in the abdomen, causing him to spit blood and fly away where Heracles grabbed him. Cao was about to say something, but at that he spit out more blood as he felt that he was hit twice. Issei. If you are the heroes then I will be the Devil King, just like in the manga, where the main character goes to another world. I like that idea. 4. Siegfried. Ha, this guy is funny, it's time to make him suffer with my swords. Pulling out several swords from his back held by robotic arms. Issei. So you're the jester of the group, well there always has to be one. Siegfried didn't like that and went against Issei where Cao was going to stop him, but it was too late. At that moment Issei linked his fingers together. Issei. Domain expansion. Malevolent shrine. At that instant Siegfried stood still and looked around him and where he was standing and saw only blood. At that he saw Issei who was sitting on a throne. Seconds later he only felt a breeze pass by him. The others didn't understand what was happening until Issei took a step and Siegfried's robotic arms fell to the ground, as well as one of his arms. At that instant Siegfried started to scream in pain. Issei. And I wanted to cut your whole body, but in the end I just did that. I think I'm losing practice, don't you think? Standing in front of Siegfried where he was screaming in pain, Issei tired of his screams and gave him a kick in the face that sent him crashing down. Issei. You are very noisy. Looking at the rest of his companions. Issei. Well, who's next? Will you be your girl, the swordsman, or the berserker, or the hero of the story, or the wizard? Heracles took a few steps forward and ran at a great speed where he hit Issei and smashed him into a wall. Heracles. It was no big deal. He said it with a half smile, but seconds later Issei was in front of him and grabbed him by the face and smashed him on the ground. Issei. Not bad, but you're still light years away from being able to give me a scratch. Taking a step back and seeing how Heracles stood up while blood was coming out of his head, he got upset and went against Issei. Taking a leap and wanting to hit Issei with all his strength, but he noticed how Issei moved being behind him. Issei. I don't know if you are stupid or if you don't know that in the air you have no advantage, and for not thinking I will take a souvenir. Heracles seconds later felt a great pain and saw Issei showing him a leg. At that Heracles fell to the ground spitting blood. Issei. Levantante berserker, as far as I know the more they hurt the stronger they get, but you disappoint me. Approaching Heracles and grabbing him by the face and pulling him in the same direction as Siegfried. He turned around and was about to say something, but he noticed a sword cutting his hand. Issei. Wow, you are fast, worthy of a swordsman. Raising his hand and where it quickly regenerated, most of them were surprised to see that. Jean. What kind of human are you? Issei. You know that's a difficult question to answer. In the past my ancestors, one was considered the best sorcerer in the world and the other a cursed king. What do you think I am? Jean. Stop playing games, a human is not able to reign so easily. Issei. What can I say, that's fate. But well, let's see how good you are, swordsman. Jean. I'll kill you quickly, I won't trust myself like those idiots, besides I can use my sword, but you don't have one. Issei. I could use one, but I'm too lazy to actually use it, so come on. Jean went to attack wanting to cut Issei's head, but when she was about to hit him, he stopped her with his hand. Issei. Pathetic. Kicking him in the stomach causing him to spit out a lot of blood. Issei. I think I overreacted, I hope you forgive me. Seeing her on the ground already unconscious. Issei didn't take it seriously and saw Jerog as he was looking at him with a face of few friends. Issei. If you make that face you will get wrinkles. Aorg. Death. Creating many spells on his back showing a smile to Issei. Issei. Great, it's the wizard's turn to show off his best spells. Well, I'll do it too. Conversion. Divergence. Forming a red weight on the tip of his finger. Issei. Reverse curse technique. Red. where it began to glow with intensity, and Georg, seeing that, launched all his attacks as well as Issei, where Issei's power destroyed all his spells, and Georg created a shield, but it was useless as it destroyed it and took it away, destroying everything in the process. Issei. I expected more from the mage. Turning around and looking at Cao Cao, who was still on his knees. Issei. Well, only the hero of the story is left. I have an idea. Hey Sona. She, at the sound of his name, startled as she was in shock from everything she saw. Sona. Hi sensei. Issei. As far as I know, when a hero is wounded, he must remember his past and purpose of why he fights. Sona. I guess I don't know what you're getting at. Issei. Well, at that instant is where you hear music, where the hero regains strength and rises with more power. So put something to it. Those present didn't know what to say for such nonsense that came to his mind, and Cao Cao for his part was annoyed at how he was teasing him. He quickly stood up and went on the attack, wanting to stab him with his spear. Issei. That's the hero spirit. Cao Cao. Stop playing and fight me. Issei. That's impossible. Cao Cao. What nonsense are you talking? Why don't you? Issei. You are weaker than Azazel and Vali and maybe that clone over there. Cao Cao, when he heard that, was annoyed and used every available skill he had, wanting to kill Issei. He just let out a sigh and looked at his watch. Issei. It's getting late, it's going to be dawn soon, I have to be close to Juliet or else she'll get scared. Appearing behind Cao Cao and cutting his hand where he had the spear. Cao Cao could only scream in pain. Issei. How noisy you are. Throwing him with his other companions as well as his arm. Cao Cao was about to say "Ow" with the little strength he had, but Georg arrived. Georg. We have to go back and plan something new, we don't have the strength, and if we don't get Phoenix Tears for the others, they won't be able to get their arms or legs back. Cao Cao knew the situation, and he wasn't stupid, he knew they didn't stand a chance against Issei. Cao Cao. Well, let's go. Issei. And who gave them permission to leave? When they heard that voice, they became alert with the little strength they had. Issei. Do you think I fight for nothing in return? Cao Cao. Cut the crap. Issei. I'm only telling the truth, and well, you know I have a maid in the house, but she lacks one thing, and that is cooking, so I'm looking for a new maid. And well, I will take that girl. Pointing to Jean, who was unconscious. Georg. First M. Issei grabbed him by the neck before he could finish. Issei. You were going to say not dead first if that's what you want. No problem, kid. Georg couldn't breathe and tried to get away from Issei, but nothing. Cao Cao. Fine, take her, but I swear I'll kill you when I see you. Issei heard that and let go of Georg, where he was breathing hard. Issei. Poor hero, it's as if you said that idiot red dragon would touch even a hair on my head. Your chances of beating me nothing. Turning around and starting to walk, Cao Cao saw that and got annoyed and tightened his grip on his spear. Georg in turn teleported them all with what little strength he had. At that, everyone left, leaving Jean and Issei walked to the three who saw everything, and Issei took the bag again and took out a bun and put it in Ria's hand. Issei. Don't be stingy and share with your friends. Walking again and taking Jean like a sack of potatoes. Ria's. She is a criminal and should be interrogated. Issei. Hey, don't make me take that bun away from you, don't you know that I don't like it when they touch my stuff? If you don't want to be like that group of heroes, you better shut up. Turning around and going back on his way. Rias for his part got annoyed and squeezed the bun. Issei passed by Kunu and looked at him for a while and gave him a bun too. Issei. Go to your mom, she'll be fine. And eat a little, otherwise you won't grow up. Stroking his head and going back to Kunu, she looked at him for a moment and then at the bun he gave her. Issei was walking until he decided to stop in the park since he was alone and put Jean on the bench, where he also took a seat and took out a bun to eat it and wait for her to wake up. Half an hour later, Issei was watching something on his phone until he noticed how Jean was waking up. Issei. Hello. She heard that voice and looked to her side and saw Issei with a smile. She was going to get up, but Issei put his hand on her shoulder. Issei. Don't worry, I won't make you good bath if you don't provoke me. Jean. What the fuck do you want? At that instant, Issei slapped him. Issei. Talk to me with respect, brat. And well, to your question, your friends left you in my care, they are good people, don't you think so? Jean saw Issei again with surprise on her face. Issei. What a thing, isn't it? Anyway, from now on you will be in my care and the only thing you will do is cook. Jean. First I'll die rather than be your slave. Issei didn't even bother to answer as he grabbed her by the neck and lifted her up. Issei. If that's what you want, that's fine, but don't think I'll let you die so easily. First I will remove your nails slowly and then your teeth and later an eye or a leg or something of your body, and when you are not about to die, I will heal you and start again. Jean was frightened when she heard all that. Jean. Forgive me. I will do it that you want. She said it with difficulty since she didn't have much oxygen. At that Issei let go of her where Jean fell to the ground breathing fast. Issei. That's the way I like it and don't worry I wasn't going to do anything like that unless you provoke me. Jean. You're crazy. Issei. Maybe and don't worry the leaders won't do anything to you since you are in my care. Jean. And they will listen to you. Issei. A little bit and if they don't they will know the consequences. Jean. I see. Issei. Well you will still have the same name and from now on you will go to study at the Cow Academy and you will be a transfer student from France and don't worry I will take care of the paperwork. Your only duty will be cooking since well I have someone to do the cleaning. And one more thing try to put poison in my food and you will know the consequences as my cousin will eat it too and you don't want to see me angry okay? Jean. Okay. Issei. That's the way I like it because if you continued with that attitude I would have had to do the same thing I did with Ravel. Jean. What did you do to him? Issei. If you get out of control you'll know. You better get up and let's go. Jean said nothing more and got up where they both started to walk. But on the way Issei gave her a bun. When they arrived at the hotel Issei left her in his room while he went to take care of Juliet. The next day she was waking up and was glad to see Issei there. Juliet. Issei Nai-san how are you? Issei. Good and tell me you are ready for a new day. But before that I have to introduce you to someone. Julieta. Who? Issei just smiled at that. Juliet was glad since she knew that when Issei gave her that smile, it only meant something good. Half an hour later Issei led Juliet to her room where Jean was and when she entered Juliet was surprised to see Jean in a maid outfit. Since before Juliet woke up Issei went to leave her clothes. Juliet. Issei Nai-san who is she? Issei. She is Jean and she will be the person who will take care of you and feed you when I am not here, don't worry, she can be trusted. Jean when she heard that she had to take care of the girl, was surprised since she didn't know that, but she didn't say anything since she didn't want to be scolded. Jean. It's a pleasure Julieta-sama, I'll be taking care of her. Julieta. You are very pretty and I will also take care of you, I hope we get along well. Extending her hand where Jean took it. Juliet. Let's go eat I'm a little hungry. Issei. Okay let's go. Whereupon the three left the room and walked through the halls, where several students were surprised by how cute Jean looked in her outfit. After breakfast the three went for a short walk, while Juliet held Issei's hand and Jean followed behind them. Meanwhile in the heiresses were with their groups as well as Azazel and Serafal, in front of the leader Yusaka. Yusaka. Thank you very much for helping me, I don't know how to pay you back, if you need anything please tell me. Yusaka bowed and Riki, Takashi and Saji did not miss to see her attributes. Azazel. Only that you can support us in a future alliance. Yusaka. If that's what you want, that's fine. Anu for his part looked everywhere looking for a person. Serafal. Kunu-chan, who are you looking for? Kunu. The person who helped us yesterday, I wanted to know who he is. Those who were conscious knew who they were talking about and Riki got upset when she remembered. Yusaka. Who are you talking about daughter? Kunu. At night a man with a blindfold came to help us and saved you. And when he left he gave me a bun, he was a good person. Azazel. It's not what Kunu-sama thinks, that guy is someone who kills with cold blood, he doesn't care about anyone else but himself. Yusaka. Can you tell me what happened? Serafal. Yeah but it's safe for Kunu to stay even though you saw how he did it a second time it can be bad. Kunu. Don't worry I have to get used to these things. Serafal just nodded and looked at Sona, where she just nodded and showed the hologram since the fight started and how minutes later Issei arrived and started his massacre. Where those who were unconscious were frightened to see his fighting style. Yusaka was surprised to know how he beat them. After a few minutes the hologram ended. Azazel. He is not a trustworthy person. Yusaka. I want to talk to him, please bring him here. Serafal. Okay. Sona you and your group go get him. Sona nodded and went out with her group in search of Issei, where to her luck, he was at the entrance of the gate taking pictures with Juliet while Jean was taking them. Sona. Sensei the Yakai leader would like to talk to you please come here. Juliet. Really sounds great. Issei Nai-san we can go I want to see the inside of the castle yes. Giving her the deadly puppy dog look. Issei seeing that fell to his knees. Issei. You defeated me. Juliet. I know then let's go. Jean-san bring Issei Nai-san. Jean. As you ordered Juliet-sama. Grabbing Issei by the collar of his shirt and dragging him. All the others knew what to say from what they saw. Minutes later they arrived at the throne room where everyone was surprised to see Juliet and how someone was dragging Issei and even more when they knew who. Some summoned their weapons and took attack positions. Issei noticed that and stood up. Issei. Well that's no way to treat your guests. Yusaka. Put down your weapons please. Arena. But she is a criminal. Azazel. Issei, she is right, give her to me. Issei. I told you last time, Crow, no one touches anyone who is next to me, or are you mentally retarded? Azazel was annoyed when he heard what he called him, but he could not yell at him since they were in a meeting. Issei. Leaving aside the old man, what do you want? Juliet. Issei Nai-san, this place is great. Isaka. Kunu, can you show the girl the garden? Kunu just nodded and went to Juliet, where he took her hand and they both left. Jean passed by Issei since she had to be with the girl. Issei. Do something and you will know the consequences. Jean said nothing and continued on her way. While Issei walked in front of Yusaka. Issei stood in front of Yusaka with his hands in his pockets. Yusaka. Can you tell me your name please? Issei. Haidu Issei, nice to meet you, Yakai leader. Yusaka. I'll be calling you here Haidu Dono because I wanted to thank you for saving me. Issei. Just call me Issei, I don't like formalities, besides I did it for the girl, what I like the least is to see the children far from their parents. Isaka. The girl who came with you is your daughter. Issei. She is my cousin, but I saw her grow up. Not to be a bad person like they say, but that's why I called me. Isaka. Straight to the point. Issei. Why give her so much trouble, besides we have to leave tomorrow, and Juliet wants to see a lot of things, I only came here for her, if I had been alone I would have refused. Riaz. Speak to her with more respect, do you want to get into trouble? Issei. As you said, it will be my problems not yours. Meanwhile in the garden. Juliet. Wow, what a beautiful place. Kunu. My mother and I take care of the garden. Juliet. You could teach me so I can plant something in my garden. Kunu. Sure, but aren't you afraid of her? Pointing at Jean. Juliet. Because she's Issei Nai-san's friend so it's okay. Kunu. I see. Jean. Don't worry, I won't do anything to her. Kunu. I understand. Juliet. Kunu-chan, you want to be my friend? Kunu. You really want me to be your friend? Juliet. Yeah, is there a problem? Kunu. Nothing like that, it's just that I've never had a friend before. Juliet. I see, don't worry, we'll be friends forever. Stretching out her pinky, which Kunu imitated, where Juliet took it with a smile. Juliet. It's a promise, we'll be friends forever. Kunu, hearing that, just gave her a smile. Kunu. Then if that's so, there are many places I want you to know. Juliet. Sounds good, but we'll leave tomorrow. If so, let's have a lot of fun today. Kunu. Alright, let's go to our family to ask for permission to go out. Juliet nodded and took Kunu's hand, and they both left as Jean followed them. After a few minutes of walking they arrived at their destination. Juliet. Issei Nai-san. Issei. Yes, what's up? Juliet. Kunu-chan wants to show me some places I can go with her. Kunu. Mom, I can go. Issei. Sure, but you should know that Jean will be with you and don't be long. Isaka. Don't go too far yet, it must be dangerous. They both nodded and went to the castle gates to leave. Issei. Well, since she left, I will do the same. Isaka. I'll treat you all to lunch. Issei. Thank you for the offer, but I will have to decline as it might spoil some people's appetite. Isaka was about to ask, but Issei started walking to the exit with his arms on his head while whistling. Kakashi. How rude to refuse this. Saji. That's how idiots are. Isaka. A servant will take you to the dining room, please follow him. They all nodded and left the room. While Issei had already left the castle and was walking a bit where a chain with a phoenix came. Issei. I will take a souvenir to Ravel, I hope he likes it. He bought it and went on his way until someone called him. Issei. Yes, who is this? Suzaku. We met at a festival, Issei. I remember, not Akeno's cousin. Suzaku. That's right, but you should let the person finish his sentence. Issei. That aside, you need something besides. How do you know my name? I never gave it to you. Suzaku. I did some research and it wasn't that easy. I know it's a lot to ask, but I need your help please. Issei. Girl, you barely know me and you ask for my help. Suzaku. I could tell that you are strong. Issei. I don't know the truth, just not long ago I had to help someone and tell me what you need my help for. Suzaku. My family wants to kill my cousin and I don't want that, I want your help to stop them. Issei. Life is cruel, but that's fate. Some things are meant to be done. Suzaku. I know, but she doesn't deserve that. My uncle, who is the current patriarch, ordered it. Besides, I have to marry someone, so he kept me out of the situation. Issei. You also want me to stop your engagement. Suzaku. I will do what I can for my clan and he is a good person. Issei. If you say so. You know I don't help strangers much, but I like you so I'll do it. But are you sure about getting married? I can help you too. Suzaku. He will really help me with that too. Issei. You took me in a good mood so I'll do it. What's your fiance's name so I can talk to him? Suzaku. Tobio Iqs. Issei. He has the support of /dog team. Suzaku. That's how he knows. Issei. Things happen, don't worry, that won't be hard. When you want to stop your family. Suzaku. They will make their move in a week, I will call you back, yes. Issei. Okay, one of these days I'll go see /dog. Suzaku. Thanks again. Issei. You're welcome. She ended the call and arrived to where both girls were. Issei. I noticed that you two get along well. Juliet. She's my friend, we have a lot of things in common. Issei. I'm glad to hear that. Kunu. Thank you for saving my mother, Issei-sama. Issei. I'm glad you're together again, and stop that sama stuff, I'm still young, you know. Kunu. It's okay. Can I ask you a question? Issei. Sure, tell me. Kunu. Something happened to your eyes to make you wear that blindfold. Issei. I am sensitive to light because of that. Juliet. You know Issei Nai-san has a very beautiful eye color. Kunu. I can really see them. Issei. Another time, don't worry. Juliet. Now that I remember, you didn't say anything to Jean-san about her clothes, Issei Nai-san. Issei. Really? Looking at Jean from head to toe. She noticing that had some embarrassment. Issei. It looks good on her, but it would look better with her hair down. Jean. Well, I like it that way. Issei. In time you will change. Jean went to the two girls and left Issei there. Issei. Juliet, when I get home I'll have to go out again, but it won't take long. Juliet. Where will you go? Issei. To see an old friend. Don't worry, you'll be with Ravel and Jean and the dog. Juliet. Don't be long, yes. Issei. Of course not. But it's a little late now that you want to eat what our new friend Kunu-chan decides. Kunu. Anything is fine with me. Issei. Don't be embarrassed, you tell me. Kunu. Pizza. Issei. Then that'll be it. Extending her two hands to lift the girls up, and at that the four of them left. It was a new day and the students were boarding the train, while the two leaders were saying goodbye to Yasaka and Juliet and Kunu. Juliet. You will call me right? Kunu. Yup, I will do it often just like you. Juliet. I will. Giving each other a hug while Issei just waited. Yasaka. Thank you for everything. Issei. Don't worry, it's all in the past. Yasaka. I can ask you a question. Issei. Go ahead. Yasaka. Why don't you help people since Araful Dono told me that you didn't want to? Issei. I don't have the duty to do it, besides if I help them more they will ask me for more help later and so on. I am not anyone's slave. Yasaka. But. Issei. Yasaka, I like you, but that's the way things are. I'll tell you something, I hope you understand me. Yasaka. Tell me. Issei. In order to be happy someone has to suffer. Saying that, she went to the two girls and said goodbye to Kunu and went to the train with Jean. Leaving Yasaka with those words in her mind. Issei. Tell me, Jean, how good you are at cooking. Jean. I really know the basics. Issei. Then learn quickly since you will have to feed Juliet for a while as I have to go on a trip. Jean. I'll do my best but no promises, okay? Issei. I see. Jean, even though you hardly know me, I will leave the only important person in my life in your care. I will trust you. Jean. I'll take care of her and I like her too. Issei. Then I'm not worried, now try to get some sleep. Jean just nodded as she was feeling a little tired, just like Juliet. Since she got on the train she fell asleep. Hours later they arrived at their destination, where the three of them took the road until Issei stopped. Juliet. Issei Nai-san, something is wrong. Issei. Now that I remember, the apartment only has 3 rooms, I'll have to look for a house. For now, Juliet, Jean will stay with you, it's okay. Juliet. Great, you like Issei Jean-san. Jean. Sounds good. Issei. Then tomorrow you and Juliet are going to look for one. Juliet. I can choose one. Issei. Sure. They continued on their way until they arrived at the house, where Ravel heard the door open and got up and was surprised to see another person. Julieta. Ravel Wani-chan. Ravel. How did you do? Julieta. It was fun, I introduce you, she will be with us from now on, her name is Jean. Ravel. Nice to meet you. Jean. You too. Juliet. And this is our partner. Ravel. By chasing Fenrir, Jean could feel the monster power he had and took a step back. Juliet. He's a good friend. Issei. Juliet, I'm going out for a while, I'll be back tomorrow. Juliet. Don't be late. Issei. I promise, besides you'll have to tell Ravel how you had fun and not the dog. Julieta. Yep. Giving Issei a hug goodbye and then going to her room to change. Issei. Take care of her and if anything happens call me. Ravel Jean. Okay. Issei just nodded and left the apartment again. Hours passed and it got dark where Issei was walking down an alley until he entered a bar and took a seat at the bar and ordered a drink. Issei. Long time no see Tobio. Tobio. It wasn't long enough really, and what brings you here since the last time we saw each other? It didn't end very well to say the least. Well, the black dog looked at Issei with a great murderous intent. Issei. I didn't come to fight old friend, I just came to have a drink. Tobio. How did you know I was here? Not many know. Issei. I'm a magician, hahaha. Tobio. Get to the point before it gets ugly around here. At that Issei took the glass and drank the alcohol in one gulp. Issei. An acquaintance begged me to come see you, and well here I am. Tobio. Who? Issei. Your fiancé. Tobio. Suzaku. How do you know her? Issei. Things happen, she told me she doesn't want to get married yet. Tobio. You'll get into big trouble if you interfere in the affairs of these clans. Issei. It wouldn't be the other way around because if you guys mess with me you'll have a bad time. Tobio. Issei. I'm not the same as before, last time I trusted myself and that will never happen again in my life. Issei. Just because that crow helped you doesn't change things. Tobio. You're a great danger to this world. Why haven't the leaders done something? Issei. Who knows the truth, maybe they're afraid. Tobio. If they all joined together they wouldn't be able to touch you and you should know where the Mao Lucifer stands. Issei. It doesn't make it a big deal that he's in the top 10. You should be happy that he didn't kill you that time. Tobio. Happy you say. This scar you left on my chest says otherwise. Every time I see it I remember how you tortured me. Issei. Those are the consequences of meddling where you're not wanted. Tobio. Sooner or later everyone will come after you, more because of that girl. Issei. So you know. Tobio. I imagine that every person who hates you must know that. And also that they will go after her to get even for what you did. Issei. If you do that, they'll be aware of the consequences because what I did to you will be like a massage compared to what I would do to them. Tobio. Don't you have a heart to make people suffer? Issei. My heart comes and goes so I don't know if I have one. I'll have to find a bodyguard for Juliet so that when I'm not there someone will take care of her. Tobio. According to my reports, your servants are Miss Ravel Phoenix and one named Jean, who belong to the Heroes faction. Issei. I'm interested in your informant, what's her name, so I ask her to look for someone. Tobio. Don't be funny, you know very well who he is. Issei. I'll have to talk to that curvy guy so he stops gossiping. But anyway, I'll have to join the Infinite. Tobio. What a stupid thing to say. Issei. Easy dog. I'll attract infinity to my side. Tobio. Don't tell me what. Issei. You took your time. Tobio. You're stupid, it'll kill you in an instant, but that would be fine with me. Issei. Hahaha, dream on. But well, we got too sidetracked from our main business and well, leave the marriage. Tobio. What choice do I have? Issei. So you remember, hahaha. The first one is to refuse and we are all good. The second is if you accept the engagement I'll go kill you on the wedding day. And the third is to run away. I made it easy for you, don't you think? Tobio. Yes, as you say, I'll take care of this and I won't marry her. Issei. Great, then let's toast to this. Bring your best bottle and let's celebrate. Tobio. No. Issei. You're making it hard for me like this, but I'm here to do what I promised, so it's time for me to go. Remember to call her. Getting up and going to the exit. Tobio. Lavinia is not very happy. Issei. I see, well it doesn't matter. Leaving the door heading home because the next day he had to give classes. It was a new day and Issei and Jean went to drop Juliet at school. Issei. Jean, you will bring her back in the afternoon every time you leave school. Jean. Why? Issei. It's your duty, besides I have to go out, I have to look for someone. Jean. Fine, but who will you look for? Issei. A person that you will like, well I think so. Jean. Aren't you a teacher? Issei. Yes I am, but I asked for a vacation. Take care of Juliet please and if anything happens call me. Jean just nodded and at that Issei left the place, well Jean had to go to the academy since Issei had arranged all her papers. Issei on the other hand walked for a while until after a few minutes he took flight. Issei. Well where am I going first? Putting his hand on his chin until he decided to go to England first he just flew off at a high speed. The hours passed and Issei went from country to country looking for a person. In the afternoon Jean and Ravel went to look for Juliet where she was already waiting for them. Juliet. Issei Nai-san will be back soon, won't she? Jean. He told me so, I thought you would be sad. Juliet. If he's leaving it's for something very important, so I trust him. Ravel. You love Issei-sama very much. Juliet. We always play together. He is very cheerful. Jean. Too much, I would say. At that they went on their way while Issei reached a forest and went down to walk. After a few minutes he kicked down a door and looked around with a big smile on his face. Issei. Hi guys. Those present at the side of Issei took attack position plus one person. Ali. What the hell are you here for? Issei. I'm looking for a bodyguard for someone. Looking to the sides until on the couch he saw OPHIS. Issei quickly went to her and grabbed her. Lefei. What are you doing? Issei. I came for her. For now I won't do anything to them, it's okay. Kuroka. OPHIS-sama won't do anything. OPHIS. He is strong, he will help me with Baka Red. Issei. I'll think about it. Going to the exit, but at that volley wanted to hit him, but he couldn't even touch Issei's face. Issei. Stop playing games, kid, it's not your time yet. I know you're in a hurry, but I'm letting you live for a while. Kicking him out of the house. Issei. See you another time. And one more thing, soon I will come for you, which I like you. Arthur. Try it and you die. Issei. Whatever you say. Leaving the house and taking flight again, leaving some people surprised, others annoyed and a blushing Lefei because of what Issei said. Issei. It was easier than I thought. OPHIS. I see. Where are we going? Issei. To my house, I have a mission for you. OPHIS. Mission. Issei. Yes, I want you to take care of my cousin, and if you do it well I will fulfill your wish. OPHIS. Really? Issei. I never lie, so don't worry, just give me some time since I don't have all my power right now. OPHIS. It's okay. Issei. Good, I'm glad you understood. Be a good girl and take care of my family. OPHIS said nothing, and in that Issei went faster, where in half an hour he arrived home. Issei. I'm back. Juliet, hearing that voice, went to the door and seeing a little girl on Issei's arm, she was surprised. But two people at the side of them stayed in shock. Juliet. Issei Nai-san, who is she? Issei. Let's say a friend who will live with us from now on. She will study with you, all these years she has been locked up at home and doesn't know so much about the world, so be patient. Juliet just nodded and approached OPHIS. Juliet. Hi, my name is Juliet Haidu, I hope we can be friends. Extending her hand, OPHIS looked at her and then looked at Issei, and he just nodded. OPHIS Ouroboros. Taking Juliet's hand with his expressionless face. Issei. Well, tomorrow no one is going to study. Ravel. And that. Issei. We'll go look for a house, this one is too small for so many. That way you can find one you like the best. Juliet. Great. Tell me, OPHIS-chan, do you want to go watch TV? She just nodded and they both went to the living room. Jean. You meant her. Issei. You see someone else here. Jean. Stop joking, you know who the hell she is, do you want to kill us all, stupid? Issei. Hey, change those words or you'll be like Ravel. Ravel heard that and just gave him a shiver, and Jean remembered what he said and took a step back. Issei. I forgive you for now, but if you do it again you'll get worse. Jean. I'm sorry. At that Issei approached both of them and caressed their heads. Issei. As long as you are in my care, no one will do anything to you. And that's for sure. Well, let's go watch TV too. They both nodded and went to the living room to watch a movie where OPHIS didn't understand anything he was watching, and Juliet explained more or less. The next day the group was at the table ready to eat, but OPHIS just stared at her plate. Juliet. You don't like it? OPHIS. I have never eaten it. Juliet. Try it, you will like Jean-san's food is delicious. OPHIS just nodded and took the silverware where he started to eat. Juliet. You like it? OPHIS just nodded and continued with his meal. Issei. Well, after this we will go shopping for the house and some clothes for you. Juliet. Great. Jean. And I'll always wear this outfit or what? Issei. It looks good on you, don't complain. And you, Ravel, want one? Ravel. Thank you very much, but no. Issei. Hey, you say that now, but you'll see later. Ravel. Issei-sama, please don't. Issei. I just heard that you did. Ravel. That's a lie. Issei ignored him and continued with his business. Later the group left the house. Where they went to look for a house where the girls looked for the biggest one. Issei. Ravel, you should know that it will take you more than a day if you keep looking for a bigger one. Ravel, when she heard that, she got scared as she remembered that she was in charge of the cleaning. Ravel. Julieta-chan, I think it's too big, this one would be better, a smaller one. Julieta. This one is perfect and it has a big garden for my friend. Ravel saw the house and it was a big mission, and at the thought of having to clean it all by herself, she fainted where Jean took her in her arms. Issei for his part just burst out laughing when he saw what happened to her. It had been a few days since Issei and company moved into the new house. Ravel, noticing how big she was, fell to her knees, and Issei, seeing that, laughed at her as it was funny to see her like that. Later, Issei enrolled OPHIS in the same school as Juliet to take care of her, where OPHIS did not talk to anyone except Juliet. Some were afraid of him because of his vacant look, even the teacher. He for his part continued to teach where everything was normal, except that sometimes the Haidu family bothered him, but in the end they were the ones humiliated by Issei. It was break time and Issei was in the teacher's room. Issei. Long time no see, Roswa-sensei. Roswa. Some things happened and I had to help. Issei. I know, since both Rias and her friends missed my class. Roswa. The situation is bad and there are more and more attacks from the Cows Brigade. Issei. I see. As she took a sip of her coffee. Roswa. You should help us. Issei. That won't be possible. Roswa. Because you are strong. Issei. Even if you ask me to, I won't do it. No matter how pretty you are, I won't do it. Roswa, hearing how he told her, blushed, and Issei noticed that quickly and smiled. Issei moved closer with his chair being close to her and whispered to her hatred. Issei. But if one day you are in danger, you call me and I will come to help you. I won't let someone hurt a woman like you. Roswa quickly separated from Issei and left the room with a face as red as a tomato from embarrassment. Issei, seeing that, just laughed at how she left. The other teachers did not say anything as they knew Issei's attitude. At that, he took the cup again and was about to take a sip again, but he felt many presences around the academy. Issei thought. Someone is coming for me. Forming a smile on his face and snapping his fingers where he formed a smile where only the young devils could stay to watch the show, as well as Issei's parents, since he wanted to. He left the cup on the table and left the room towards the exit, where it only took him 5 minutes, and when he arrived, he saw the two groups, Gremory and Citri and Garu and Mickey. Issei. Well, what can I do for you? We came by orders of our patriarch to kill you since you went where you were not called. Issei. Just help a poor girl who needed it. Your excuses don't matter, today is your day. Issei. As you say, and you guys get out of here, this is my problem. Besides, we were surprised to see you here, Akeno Himejima. Our patriarch will be happy about your death. Issei. That would be impossible since I'm on duty, and my duty as a teacher is to take care of these brats. So to your misfortune, it won't happen as you wish. The group, already annoyed by Issei's nonsense, went against him. They cast several spells and others took out their weapons and went on the attack. Issei saw this and stretched out his hands, and when one of them was about to arrive, he cut off his head in an instant that no one could see. One of them, in surprise, went down the lair and Issei approached him. Issei. Don't get distracted. Splitting him in half where some of Sona's team vomited because of what he did. Issei evaded every spell cast at him and continued his massacre. Minutes later they were all dead, and Issei didn't have a scratch or a drop of blood from his rivals on his hands. But Issei let one live to send a message to his killer, where the man just nodded and ran away in fear. Seconds later the leaders arrived and were shocked by such a massacre before their eyes. Surziches. Have you defeated them all? Issei. Of course not. They were running towards my fist, so one by one, they fainted. Surziches, hearing her answer, just got annoyed. Michael. Please don't joke like that. Issei. Well, the answer is obvious, no. I don't understand why you ask a stupid question if you can see the result with your eyes. I guess being with Azazel for so long made you more of an idiot. Poor thing. Laughing a little, he said it where Surziches and Azazel were about to burst with annoyance. Auden. You had no mercy against them. Issei. If someone comes after me, he must know the consequences. You think I let someone live just because? And if I let him live, he must leave with a memory like the one who left recently. I have a suspicion that the poor guy will be traumatized. Serafal. Issei, please don't do it again. Issei. Levi, so I like you and maybe I like you, but I don't forgive anyone. Besides, I gave my students a lesson on what battles are like. Sona. You called it a battle. That was a one-sided massacre. Rias. You deserve the nickname monster. Issei. And I gladly accept it. Ricky. I curse you, Issei. Issei, hearing that, just laughed at what he said. Eru. Why are you laughing, you sick bastard? Issei. It's funny what your son said. How can you curse a curse that stupid? Mickey. You're crazy. Issei. Whatever you say, but it's all over now, it's time to go home. And why don't you guys talk? Both Ravel and Jean were scared when they heard that. Issei. I told you that you are in my care, so don't worry, nothing will happen to you, but if you betray me you will wish this would happen to you. And one more thing, you Azazel, stop giving out information about me or you will be punished. At that he started to walk to the exit while whistling, and both Ravel and Jean followed him. Jean. You are not afraid that everyone will go against you? Issei. The answer is no. Ravel. And why? Issei. If they try anything against me they will only come to dig their graves. Ravel. You really like Serafal-sama. Issei. I like your childish attitude. But don't be jealous Ravel, I also like your tsundere part. You too Jean, don't be jealous, I like you as you are. Ravel. And who said I'm jealous? How could I be with someone like you? Jean. The way you treat me, how do you think I'll be with you? As they walked faster but with a face like a red tomato. Issei just smiled seeing that and continued his way to Juliet's school. A few days had passed since the massacre caused by Issei in the academy, where the two heiresses were still surprised by what had happened as well as their groups. Issei for his part did not care about what was going on around him when it came to them, since the only thing that mattered to him was to see Juliet's joy. She was happy to be with Issei as he always made her laugh with his nonsense, where the other three girls couldn't help but laugh too because of his attitude. The office eventually started to understand a bit about emotions, but still had a long way to go to be someone more normal. After the academy, Issei was helping to improve Ravel and Jean with her skills where she always left them badly hurt. Jean. Hey, you should have more compassion. Issei. You think your enemy will show you mercy, are you stupid? Jean. What did you say? Getting up from the ground and pointing her sword at him. Issei. You're not only stupid, you're also deaf. Jean, when she heard that, went against Issei where she only received a blow in the abdomen, causing her to drop her sword and fall to the ground in pain. Issei. This happens when you let yourself be guided by words. You saw Ravel. Ravel? Yes. Issei. Well, I'm glad I heard that, so you can take a break, we'll continue another day. Jean. Finally some rest. Issei. Maybe I was going to continue, but I also have to train Juliet, and tell me, are you ready? Juliet. Yes, Issei Nai-san. Ravel. Do you want her to be like you? Issei. Tell me Juliet, don't you want to be like me? Juliet. I want to be like Issei Nai-san. Issei. You heard her. Juliet. I don't want to imagine what kind of things she will do in the future. Office. Easily every person that comes near her will have to kneel before her. Juliet. That doesn't matter since I just want to be like Issei Nai-san. Giving him a hug that he reciprocated. Issei. Well, see you later. We'll be back at dinner time. Leaving the place, leaving the three girls. Ravel. Office-sama, why don't you fight with him? And why are you with him since you are stronger? Office. He is strong and he promised to get Baccarat out of my house. Jean. You're not afraid that it's a lie? Office. No. Jean. And if it takes a lot of time? Office. I have plenty of time. But put that issue aside and go do what Issei said, plus I'm kind of hungry. Jean. I'm tired, let's order something. Ravel. You must know that Issei doesn't like that, don't you remember when we ordered pizza? Jean. How could I forget that day? As revenge I buy 10 pizzas for each of us and force us to eat it. Ravel. Since that day I hate it. Trying not to throw up at the memory. Jean. I'll go right now. Getting up with some pain and leaving the place. Hours passed and Issei and Juliet returned where the girls noticed some injuries on Juliet, but she had a big smile on her face. Office. What happened to her? Issei. Hard work, just that. Juliet. This is nothing. Ravel. What kind of training are you giving her? Juliet. It's a secret between Issei Nai-san and me. Jean. Let's leave that topic better and come to eat. Where both silver hairs nodded and went to the table with the rest. The days passed and everything was a normal routine. Issei was on his way home that his day was over and Ravel and Jean had to do the shopping. As he was walking he passed by a park until he saw a man standing in front of him. Issei. What do you want, devil? I don't have time for games. At that the devil took out a photograph and threw it to Issei, who took it and looked at it. As he did so he saw Office and Juliet tied up. Issei. This bodyguard is very lazy. And well, you come just for that. I do Issei, you better give up and beg for mercy from Rizavam-sama or you will know the consequences. I know that Brad is the most important thing to you. Issei. And you're absolutely right, but I have a feeling they won't do anything to her. Don't challenge us, humans should, or with just one call those girls will objectify many of my teammates until they run out of energy. Issei. Are you trying to provoke me? Doesn't your boss know the consequences of trying to provoke me? And in case he didn't tell you, I will tell you, and that would be that you will live the worst hell of your life. Ahahaha, you can't do anything to me because if I die you will die too, and as I said it will be in the worst way. Issei just let out a sigh and put his briefcase on the ground and stretched his arms. The devil was about to say something, but at that his head was cut off in an instant. Issei. I would have liked to play with you, but I have things to do. He jumped up and left the place. Meanwhile in a base a group of fallen end devils were in front of two girls with a big smile on their faces. Juliet. Don't come any closer or Issei Nai-san will kill you. You have a big vocabulary for a brat. Juliet. You don't know what Issei Nai-san is like when he's upset. That's why I want to be like him. Ahahaha, we better have fun. Office. He's here. Someone was about to answer, but at that moment a door flew out where a devil was stuck by it. Issei. The soul of the party has arrived. Juliet. Issei Kanai-san. At that Issei saw her and could see her smile, but he noticed that inside she was scared and wanted to cry. Issei took off her blindfold and everyone could see serious blue eyes. Issei. If you do this you must be ready for the consequences. The fallen man just laughed at Issei and created a spear of light and went against him. But at that he felt his head fall to the ground. And as his body did too. Since Issei was so fast that he didn't even feel the movement. The others when they saw that went against Issei were here and to them killing them in the worst possible way, where both Office and Juliet could hear their screams. Juliet for her part just closed her eyes as she did not want to see that. 2 minutes passed and she didn't hear anything when she opened her eyes, and there was nothing but Issei standing in front of her with a smile on his face. Issei. You're fine. He let go of them, and Juliet jumped up and gave him a hug. Juliet. Issei Nai-san, I tried to be strong like you said, but I was scared, I'm sorry. Issei stood up and put her on the ground and saw her with a big smile. Issei. You were very brave, I'm proud of you. Juliet just raised her eyes with tenderness. Juliet. Oh really? Issei seeing that almost fell to the ground because of how cute she looked, but she resisted and nodded quickly. Juliet just smiled and hugged him again, and at that Issei took Office by the waist and the three of them went. When they arrived they asked him several questions, but Issei didn't answer and sent everyone to sleep except Office. Issei. What happened there, Office? Office. I wanted to see how strong you are. Issei. That's not an excuse, you know. Office. Besides, I wasn't going to let them do anything to her. I promised to take care of her. Issei. You'll still get a punishment, come and sit next to me. She just nodded and went. Issei noticed how Ravel and Jean looked at them from the kitchen, and he smiled. At that Issei took her and put her on his lap and turned her upside down and spanked her so hard that Office opened her eyes. Issei. This happens when you don't listen to me. Giving her another spanking where Ravel and Jean instinctively put their hands on their butts. Issei. And this goes for you too. They both came out and nodded quickly, and without waiting for an answer they went to their rooms. Issei spanked her 4 more times until he sat her down again. Office. I really liked it. Giving Issei a little smile where she went into Issei embrace. Issei was completely dumbfounded from what he witnessed. Issei thoughts. I think I screwed up. Getting up and going to his room. Issei was in the house where he was in the living room while the girls were watching a movie and he was reading a book. Jean. Why don't you watch the movie instead, it's more interesting. Issei. I'm not a big fan of TV, I prefer the classics. Ravel. It's boring. Issei. Do you want to be punished for talking to me like that? I can tell you're getting a lot of confidence. Giving them a smile where they both turned pale when they heard those words. Office. I am in favor of punishment. Issei. Punishment doesn't work and your punishment will be not to do anything to you. Office hearing that made a little pout that Issei liked. At that someone knocked on the door and Issei was about to go, but Juliet went ahead. Seconds later he saw her arrive with company. Juliet. Issei Nai-san is the magical girl. Issei. It's good to see you, magic girl, and you want something. Serafal. You'll always call me that. Issei. Or do you want me to call you my wife? Serafal when she heard that turned red and the girls present were surprised by what they heard. Juliet. I really like it like this. Looking at Serafal where she saw Juliet with stars in her eyes. Serafal. Not really. She didn't finish as she saw Juliet put her 2 fingers together. She was about to cry. She quickly took back what she said. Serafal. If you can call me that. Issei just raised his fist in victory and then high-fived Juliet. Issei. Well, now with everything ready, tell me what's going on. Serafal. We want you to help us with something. Issei. You know you came at a time when I'm happy, so it's okay. Besides, I'm happier now, wife. Serafal. It will always be like this. Issei. But you like her. She didn't say anything else and Issei smiled and looked at the group. Issei. Well, you girls stay, I'm going to the underworld. Juliet. I can go. Issei. Sure. Office. Me too. Issei. You'd better stay so there are no more problems. At that he approached Serafal and the 3 of them went to the underworld. When they arrived there was only Surzich's and the Gremory and Citri groups. Issei said nothing and took a seat, as did Juliet next to him. Minutes later the others began to arrive. Someone was about to say something to start the meeting until someone else opened the door and stared at someone with a death stare. Issei for his part was surprised to see her. Issei. Hello Lavinia, long time no see. Lavinia. No hello. After 4 years I finally meet you. Issei. You look beautiful dressed like that. Lavinia. You're done. Besides, my eyes are up here. Issei. Just a few more seconds. Everyone didn't know what to say when they heard such a conversation. More the twins when they saw such a woman. Issei. I'm done, tell me what's going on. Lavinia. What's going on, are you an idiot or are you just an idiot? Issei. It is a difficult question to answer. Lavinia. I came to kill you for what you did. Issei. Wait, we were both okay with what happened. Serafal. Wait, someone explain to me what the hell is going on here. Azazel. This should be fun. Since finally someone was going to give Issei his comeuppance. Lavinia. Issei, let's go outside, we need to talk. Juliet. Issei Nai-san, who is she? Issei put his 2 arms on the table and crossed his fingers. Issei. It's my wife. Everyone was in shock for what they heard, plus Azazel, who spit out his victory wine. Serafal saw Issei not too happy to say that not long ago he confessed to her, but she didn't really mean it at first. Issei could feel her death stare directed at him, but he didn't care. Juliet. So she's my Wani-chan. Issei. Yep. Lavinia. You. Issei. Hey, you came to me and well. Lavinia. You got me drunk and then you took me to that place to get married and the next day you just left a note in the room. Issei. I told you I was coming back. Lavinia. It's 4 years. Issei. I didn't hurt you since I was also drunk that day. Lavinia. I'll still kill you. Julieta. Don't you love Issei Nai-san? Lavinia, seeing the girl, noticed how her eyes were watering. Issei saw that and smiled. Issei thought. Juliet, you're the best. Issei. Lavi-chan, how about we talk about it at home? Lavinia. Don't call me that. Issei. As you say, dear, then. Lavinia. Fine, but where do you live? Issei. Serafal, you can send her home. And tell me, Julieta, don't you want to go with her so you can meet your Wani-chan? Julieta. Yup. Getting up from her seat and going to her and taking her hand. At that, Serafal teleported them both and there was a big silence. Issei. Well, how about you two talk, because as you can see I have things to do. Serafal. Issei, we need to talk. Issei. It will be later, my wife, not right now. Serafal. Don't call me like that, or are you planning to have a harem? Issei. If fate wills it. Serafal. What did you do in the past since no one knows? Issei. All in good time, wife, since if I tell you everything at once you might faint. Sona. Stop calling my sister that. Issei. I will take good care of her, don't worry, sister-in-law. And you will pay for it, Azazel, since you brought her here. I guess the flea dog told you. Azazel. I didn't know. Looking away from Issei, he just let out a sigh. And he saw his 2 brothers and smiled again. Issei. Maybe they are jealous. Ricky. Jealous of you, ha 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 ha. Issei. Maybe, and one more thing, don't try anything with Roswis because she is mine. Roswis, when she heard that, opened her eyes like saucers to hear such a thing. The brothers, when they heard that, were more annoyed because she was trying to Ricky a lot. Auden on his part laughed when he heard Issei's statement. Auden. You are not afraid of anything, boy. Issei. If I want something I have it. Besides, I like your attitude, so wait for me, Ross-chan. She couldn't talk because of the shock. Issei. Well, leaving that aside, tell me what you want since I have things to do. Michael. You can help us look for a Chaos Brigade base. Issei. Be more specific, they have many bases. Michael. In England, since we have been informed that they are doing experiments. Issei. Alright, I'll go, but I'll take Ross-chan with me. Riaz. No way, she is part of my team. Issei. If you don't accept, I won't go. Azazel. Stop acting like a child and take this seriously. Issei. Fine, then give me Graphia. Serziches got up from his seat and went against Issei, grabbing him by the collar of his shirt. Serziches. Do you want to die? Issei. You decide. Time is limited. Serziches let go of Issei and clenched his fists. Serziches. Riaz, let me go with him. Riaz. But. Serziches. But nothing. Issei just smiled and went to her and grabbed her hand and pulled her out of the place. Issei. Well, Ross-chan, I'll see you tomorrow outside the academy. Roswis. What are you planning? Issei started to walk and she took a few steps backwards until she hit a wall, and Issei put his 2 arms to stop her from running away. Issei. I said it before, I'm interested in you. Roswis. We've only met twice. Issei. More than enough, but before we go on, tell me that Ricky touched you. Roswis. No. Issei. Well, since only I can. Caressing her cheek where she blushed like a tomato since that had never happened to her before. Issei. Take care, see you tomorrow. Leaving the place, leaving Roswis with many questions. Issei arrived home and saw the group of girls gathered until they noticed his presence. Jean. Issei, you have a lot of explaining to do. Issei. Do I sense jealousy in you? Forming a smile where Jean didn't know what to say for such words. Office. You will tell us what happened. Issei. I was 16 and well, I went to Vegas and I met her there and I had a few too many drinks. Ravel. Wait, how could you drink at that age? Issei. I used a little bit of magic, but the point is that I ran into her and some things happened. Lavinia. You were able to hide very well, Issei, so that I didn't find you. Issei. Not at all, that you are slow is another thing. Lavinia. You. She didn't continue because Issei took her in his arms. Issei. Girls, I have things to talk to my wife about, see you later. Without waiting for an answer, she began to walk out of the house listening to some complaints from Lavinia. Julieta. They get along well, don't they? Ravel. I don't know how he gets into trouble. Julieta. But now I have someone else in my family, it's great. Going to her room with a big smile. Meanwhile, Issei left the house and jumped into the forest where it didn't take him long to reach his destination. Issei. Well, we're alone now. Lavinia. What are you planning? Taking a few steps back where Issei smiled and took off his shirt. Lavinia did not have a good feeling and was about to leave, but could not. Issei. You came to cause a scandal and now you want to leave. You won't have it easy. Lavinia. What are you planning to do, pervert? Issei. And what do husbands do? Lavinia. Stay away from me. Issei. Oh what? Lifting her chin where Lavinia could see blue eyes as Issei had removed her blindfold. Issei. Believe it or not, I wanted to see you, but I was busy until recently. I had some calm. Lavinia. What did you do in these years for you to say that? Issei. A mess or two, but don't worry, it's not a big deal. But leaving that aside, how about we get down to action? Lavinia. None of that nonsense, I'm leaving. Issei. The one who gives the orders here is me, Lavi-chan. Lavinia. Don't call me that. Issei. As you say. Giving her a kiss where she felt Issei's lips and tried to separate, but she couldn't because Issei didn't let her escape until after a few minutes because they needed air. Lavinia. I told you no. Issei. And I like to be contrary. Throwing Lavinia to the floor. Lavinia. How about we leave it like this and go home? Issei. You were looking for me for a long time and now you want to escape. Well, for your bad luck you will never leave my side. Lavinia. And who were the other 3 girls? Issei. Are you jealous? Lavinia. I'm jealous. Are you crazy? Issei. Well, I won't lie, I'm interested in them since it's fun to bother them, but let's leave that aside and let's go to action. Without waiting for an answer, he took off Lavinia's dress where she tried to refuse, but she couldn't because Issei wouldn't let her go. The hours passed and it became night and both were lying on the floor covered with their clothes. Lavinia. How did it come to this? Issei. Things happen, so go home and take your things to mine. Lavinia. You think I'm going to move in with you, are you an idiot? Issei. Lavi-chan, do you want to be punished again? She better not say anything and turned around. Issei. So you expect to be punished again? Lavinia. Fine, I will. Issei. Great, I only ask you to treat Juliet well, she's my only family. Lavinia. That girl is not afraid of anything since I saw her calm during the leaders' meeting. Issei. I'm training her. Lavinia. Are you planning to create a monster? Issei. I don't think so. Getting up and putting on her clothes. Lavinia. You're going on that mission tomorrow, aren't you? Issei. That's right, do you want to come with me? Lavinia. No, I have better things to do. I have a mission with Toby. Issei. The flee and tell him not to touch you or he'll know the consequences. Lavinia. As you say. At that moment Issei approached her and kissed her forehead. Issei. See you in a few days since I don't know how long it will take me to do that silly mission. Starting to walk while whistling, and Lavinia went to her house since she had a lot for one day. Issei upon arriving home went to Juliet's room where he saw her sleeping next to Fenrir. He just smiled and closed it and went to his. Issei. It will be a fun trip with Ross-chan. Lying down on his bed and sleeping a little, the next day Issei was walking next to Roswitz to their destination, where she avoided looking at him because of the embarrassment of what happened before. Issei. You ignoring me only makes me more interested in you. Roswitz. Why are you like that with me? I'm nothing special. Issei. That's what you think, but for others it's different and I won't let anyone take you away from me. Roswitz. Really, the woman who came that time is your wife? Issei. Yes. Roswis. You already have someone then. Issei. I really don't know. But let's put that aside and do that nonsense quickly. Roswis. Why don't you take it seriously? This is bad, since that group only plans to destroy all the factions. Issei. As long as they don't touch Juliet, it's fine with me. They can do whatever they want, but if they touch a hair on her head, they will want their god to save them. Roswis. And her family, and I do her siblings and parents. Issei. You're talking about the clones and the old busybody and the stupid old man. Roswis. They are your parents, you shouldn't talk about them like that. Issei. I don't have parents, and how do you want to compare this beauty with those butt faces? Roswis. Your vocabulary is very vulgar. Issei. In the past, a person told me to do what I want, and that's what I do, and believe me, it's better to be free than to be a slave that only gives orders to you. Roswis. You are not afraid that the leaders will unite to try to kill you, and you are not afraid of your enemies. Issei. Not at all. I have no enemies, since they have me as their enemy if they come close. Besides, I expect them to get even angrier. Roswis. Why? Issei. I want my enemies to be stronger so that I will have remorse when I kill them. Roswis, upon hearing that, stopped his step out of surprise at those words. Issei for his part also stopped but spoke without seeing her. Issei. In the future there will be a great battle where only one side will survive. Which side do you think will win, good or evil? But before that, I want you to think one thing, and that is, who am I to you, an enemy or friend? Continuing on his way as he started to whistle, leaving Roswis with that doubt, as he had no idea what Issei was like. Minutes later they were both on the flight to their destination, where Roswis was still in doubt about what Issei had told her recently. He for his part noticed her doubt. Issei. Don't think so much. Roswis. Well, the truth is that I don't know what to answer, because as I saw before, you don't care about anything except yourself. Issei. Ross-chan, you only see the good in people, but you never ask yourself what they are really like. Auden's old man may seem calm, but he had his past too, just like the rest. Roswis. But. Issei. To some people I may seem like the enemy, and I don't really care because I don't care about the opinion of others. Roswis. You kill your enemies without any mercy. Issei. I am not cruel, I have learned to use my brain more and my heart less. Roswis. I see. Issei. Don't think about things so much, and when the time comes you will know what decision to make. Where Roswis just kept quiet, and Issei for his part took out a book so as not to get bored on the trip. Hours later they both arrived at their destination, where Issei started to walk as he wanted to end everything once and for all. Roswis. May I ask you a question? Issei. Tell me. Roswis. What kind of skills do you have, since you don't show much? Issei. I'll just tell you a few hints. In the past he was a great sorcerer, and at the same time someone cursed, feared by everyone. Tell me what would happen if those two people got together. Roswis. Something horrible would appear. Issei. I guess. Roswis. Seraph-ul-Sama told me that you did many things in the past where you have made many enemies. And I could confirm it with Lavinia. Issei. Ross-chan, you think I didn't have a hard time handling so much power? Sometimes I just let my instincts guide me. Roswis. I noticed that both Azazel-sama and Surziches-sama hated. Issei. I don't care about that, and if they try to do something they should be aware of the consequences. You think I wasted my time before? I actually took the trouble to look for some of them. Roswis. If you go on like this, sooner or later you will be killed. Issei. I'll be waiting for that day. And tell me, if something happens to me you will be sad of my departure. Roswis. I don't know. Issei. I see, but you must know one thing. Roswis. And that would be. Issei. You will soon be mine, since, well, as I said before, I am attracted to you. Roswis. He likes to joke. She said it a little red because of what Issei said before. Issei. I'm not joking. They continued on their way, where it took them an hour to reach their destination, until they saw the enemy's base in the distance. Roswis. What's the plan? Issei. Very easy, dear Ross-chan. Taking her in his arms and taking a big jump and destroying the roof where everyone was watching them. Issei. Who ordered a pretty woman? Wow, but look who deigns to come. Issei. But what a surprise, it's that sissy Krusuri. I thought Surzich's Siskin killed you not long ago. Krusuri. I was lucky. Issei. I see, but leaving aside our reunion, tell me what they are planning here, so I can save some of your nonsense. Krusuri. Despite the situation you're in, you still talk like an idiot. Issei. What can I say, that's me. Krusuri. You know what you caused by seeing Rizavum-sama betrayed, don't you? Roswis, hearing what he said, was in shock where he saw Issei. He for his part was still smiling. Issei. The best way to destroy your enemies is to become their friend. I finally achieved more than expected. Kurosuri. Stop that stupid smile, I'm tired of seeing it. Seeing everyone around him where he just nodded and they all went on the attack against Issei and company. Issei. Well Ross-chan, it's time for action. Leaving her on the ground where she came out of shock and put on her battle suit. Issei. Nice outfit, later you model me some. Giving her a wink with his eyes where she blushed at his color. Issei for his part just walked towards his old friend Kurosuri while several approached him where they wanted to hit him, but the barrier that Issei had stopped them. Issei. Tell me Kurosuri, how is my future wife's brother? Kurosuri. As you are going to die soon, I will tell you, and the answer is easy, and is that he wants to kill you in the worst way possible to see him say that you love his sister. Issei. I see, but it doesn't matter, she has her own thing, although I must change that serious attitude. Giving a punch to one of his enemies in his face that sent him flying away. Seconds later Issei changed her gaze to one of red eyes with black lines and another pair of eyes and gave a big smile to her enemy. Kurosuri. This is the second time I've seen you like this and you're still smiling like a psychopath. Issei. It's good to let loose once in a while, and tell me, are you ready for action? Kurosuri. Cress, I'll let you catch me. Creating a teleportation spell on his legs. Issei. Didn't I tell you in the past? I never let my prey go. Crossing his fingers. Issei. Domain extension. Temple of Evil. Where all his enemies entered his territory and Issei began his massacre while he listened to the cries of supplication of his enemies. That for him was music until seconds later he was in front of Kurosuri with his big smile. Kurosuri. Let me go, yes. I won't tell Rizavam-sama that I saw you. Issei. Ara, did you forget what I told you a little while ago? Or are you playing the idiot? Kurosuri. Do me a favor like in the old days. Issei heard that and grabbed him by the neck and lifted him up. Issei. You say like old times. Do you think I forget what happened a long time ago, how they caught me and tortured me day and night? And I could see everyone smile plus yours. But don't worry, I don't hold a grudge against you since you helped me a little. Kurosuri. Damn you. Issei. Keep insulting me since those words only meant to kill me faster, but first I will have some fun with you like in the old days, as you say. You should know one thing, in this place time is much slower. Smiling and starting the torture where only many screams were heard for hours and for seconds none, but then they started again and so on. Issei. I'm bored already, well it's time to say goodbye dear friend. And one more thing, soon your other friends will come to see you. Kurosuri. No. You. Will. Go out. With yours monster. Issei just turned around and started walking while whistling, and Kurosuri died. After that Issei went back to normal and went to Roswas, where she was shocked by everything that happened as she only saw how everyone was destroyed into pieces and how Issei was just standing there. She could hear Kurosuri's screams and just had chills. Issei. Ross-chan, let's go. Roswas. Issei, you have no mercy against anyone. Issei. Oh dear Ross-chan, the world is so cruel and some must be punished. And as the executioner that I am, that is my job. But well, I'll see you another time, I know you can go alone. Jumping up and leaving the place while Roswas just let out a sigh and teleported to her destination, now that she knew where to go. The day had passed since Issei's mission with Roswas, where he decided to leave early. Issei was in the courtyard of the house having a barbecue until a magic circle appeared near where he was. Issei. You are just in time, my wife. Serafal. Issei, can you go to the underworld please? Issei. Son, I don't think that will be possible. Well, as you can see, I'm cooking. Serafal. Roswas told us what happened and well. Issei. Then why do you want me to go? I don't need it that much. Serafal. Just come if. Issei. On one condition. Serafal. Tell me. Issei. From now on call me husband, and if you ever call me by my name I will punish you. Serafal. But. Issei. Yes or no? Serafal just let out a sigh since she knew what his attitude was like and just nodded. Issei. Well then let's go right now. Taking Serafal's hand and they both left the place. Seconds later Jean came out and saw a note that only said for someone else to follow, while he went to get the drink. Meanwhile in the underworld they both appeared in the room where the leaders and the two Sakitos were. Issei. Well, I know it's important, but what are the brats doing here? Sona. They just asked us to come. Issei. I see. Sona. I see. Going to a nod and putting her feet up on the table. Surziches. Don't you have any manners? Issei. Yes, but with you I can relax, and what do you want? Don't you see that I was making dinner until my wife arrived? Sona. Don't say it like that. Wani-chan, don't say anything. Serafal. She didn't continue as she saw Issei's smile waiting for her to continue. She turned red as she had to call him something else. Serafal. Husband, could you calm down? She said it with a big blush that surpassed the Gremory brothers' hair. All the people present were shocked when they heard that, and Issei for his part just smiled. Azazel. Leaving that aside, I'll get straight to the point. You were with Rizavam. Issei. Yes. Azazel. And you accept it just like that. Issei. And what do you expect me to say, that it's a lie, Crow? Azazel. You know what it means. Issei. That my dear Ross-chan betrayed me. Falling to his knees. Issei. The deception, the betrayal. Surziches. Leave the drama aside and answer. Issei. I told you idiot leaders before that I don't belong to any side. I may fight for him to offer more. Michael. You know what you are saying. Issei. Yes. Ricky. Tell me Rosswas, he didn't do anything to you, did he? Issei. Hey, don't talk to my wife like that. Ricky. She is not your wife, she is mine. Rosswas. I am nobody's wife. Issei. Everything collapsed inside me. Auden. Boy, stop the drama and act like an adult. Issei. And what right do you have to say that, you old pervert? Issei. Cradle robber. All of them opened their eyes like saucers when they heard what he said, except Rosswas, who wanted to laugh but managed to resist because he didn't want any more trouble. Ricky. Stop playing games and you better stay away from my women or you'll know what I'm capable of. There was a big silence until Issei started laughing. Issei. Ha 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 ha, oh wait, you say it for real, ha 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 ha, then let me laugh harder, ha 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 ha. Ricky. I am a heavenly dragon, do you want to die already? Issei. Oops, stop. Issei. The dragon got angry, if we move it might get angry. Takashi. You got a ticket with your pranks. Creating a fire spell and throwing it at Issei, but he moved at a high speed and grabbed Ricky and put him as a shield. Issei. You hate your brother so much that you attack him. I know it's ugly, but it's not to exaggerate. Takashi. Damn you. Issei. Poor ugly thing. At that moment Surziches hit the table causing it to break in half. Issei. He got his period. Surziches. Stop playing joke and you'd better tell us all about Rizavam or you'll be forcibly interrogated. He was telling him in annoyance as he was getting tired. Issei. Surziches, are you an idiot? I told you I won't help anyone. Well, maybe my wives. Serafal. Maybe. Issei. My wife, you are strong, I know you can defend yourself just like Ross-chan and Lavinia among others. Serafal. Among others. Issei. Yes, like Gabriel, Penemu and. He didn't go on since I notice how two people want to kill him just by looking at him. Michael. Don't come anywhere near my sister or I will make sure you myself disappear. Azazel. And I will help him, she is mine. Issei. And since when do I ask for permission? I just take and goodbye. Azazel. But what am I worried about? Ha 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 ha, Gabriel will be able to see right through you and he'll only get further away and Penemu she'll just beat you up. Issei. You think so? Azazel. Today you finally got your ass kicked, ha 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 ha. Issei. As you say. Then I left. Auden. Boy, you have things to say. Issei. Old green man, I already said what I wanted. Serafal. Please. Issei. My wife, things are already said. And maybe I'll tell you when we get along better as husband and wife like Lavinia. Starting to walk to the exit until she heard a dragon shot. Where he easily dodged it and looked back and saw Ricky in his armor. Issei. Are you really an idiot? Don't you know the difference in power between us? Ricky. I am capable of killing gods. Issei. You should train more, brat, to listen when someone tells you that you are weak. I have this mother. What's her name? Putting his hand on his chin. Issei. Oh, I remembered, it's called a brain. He said it with a big smile, causing Ricky to get upset and go against Issei. He for his part just stood still, and when he was about to hit her his fist stopped. Issei. Don't you remember when that guy, what was his name, Vela. Virgin. I really don't remember. I only know he had white armor just like yours. No one can touch me. Ricky. I'll kill you. Issei. With that mouth you kiss the old gossip. Ricky and Takashi, when they heard that, got more upset and went against Issei, where he only let out a sigh and saw his watch. Issei. Damn, if I don't hurry the meat will run out. Hey Serafal, in an hour come to my house. Their Rosswas is fine anyway. Both of them were about to say something, but at that two people flew out, being Ricky and Takashi, where Issei gave them both a punch and then left the place, leaving a silence and almost everyone upset. Issei, when he arrived home, appeared in the garden where the girls were waiting for him. Lavinia. What trouble are you in now? She said it while her arms were crossed. Issei. You have so little confidence in your husband. Lavinia. That's right. Issei. You broke the flea's heart. As he clutched his chest while the girls had a bead of sweat coming down from their drama except for Juliet, as she was amused to see that part of her cousin. Juliet. Lavinia ni-san trusts Issei ni-san more. Lavinia. Don't defend him, you'll only make his ego grow bigger. Issei. Hey, don't say those words to my cute little cousin. Jean. She won't fall for those words so easily. But to her bad luck, Juliet ran out and gave her a hug where Issei happily accepted and then gave Jean a smile. Issei. You were saying. He was saying it mockingly where Jean just looked away because of Issei's mockery. After that the group entered the house. Ravel. Issei, why don't we start eating? Issei. We are waiting for some people. Lavena. Who? Issei. You will see. Office. Tell me. Issei. You are getting so bold. Office, do you have the right to demand something from me? Office. Actually I do, since I am stronger than you. Ravel, Jean, Lavinia. Ooh, I'll fuck you. Issei. Are you challenging me, and if so you'll know that you're succeeding loli. Julieta. Ooh, what are you going to do, Office ni-san? At that, Office stood up and everyone noticed how she started to believe and how her body developed and changed. At the end he had a smile on his face. Office. You were saying. Issei. That's cheating. Office. Things happen. Issei. Oh yeah, right. Office. Something else to say. Issei better just look away. Issei thought. Little me in my pants, stay down, don't let yourself be provoked. Lavinia. Ara the great. Issei withdraws from the battle. Issei. Not at all. I was just thinking how to punish Office for talking to me like that. Office. You know what I like. Issei. That's not punishment, that would be a reward for you. But leaving that aside and better look to your right. The girls hesitantly looked and saw a magic circle where Surfall and Roswis came out, where they quickly saw Issei with a serious face. Issei. I'm glad you came. Lavinia. Issei, what does this mean? Issei. Easy, my wife, she is my future wives. It's just not official yet. Lavinia. I would hit you, but you are saved by Juliet, who is present. Issei. Grateful to the one upstairs. Someone else was about to say something, but they saw two magic circles where Gremory and Citri came out. Issei. Who the hell called the brats? Sona. Don't tell us like that. It was an order from the other leaders. Briaz. I won't let Roswis be with someone like you. Issei. Everyone get out except you, Angel-chan, you can stay. Ricky. Nobody will listen to you. Bakeno. Hey, you have a bathroom here. Issei. We don't shit outside in a tree. There's the shovel for you to do the listening. Bakeno was annoyed when he heard that answer, and Lavinia couldn't help but laugh at his answer, as well as Jean. Ravel for his part managed to resist since he didn't want any trouble. Issei. You ask such a stupid question, girl. You should be smarter like my dear Suzaku. Bakeno. Yes, of course, she'll listen to you. Issei. Don't challenge me, Brad, or else you'll soon have to call me cousin too. Takashi. Stop talking nonsense. Issei. I'm not talking taka. Takashi, when he heard that answer, got annoyed. Roswis. We can leave the fights aside, what I don't want is fights for now. Issei. I'm sorry, but your wish can't be fulfilled. Roswis. What do you mean? Issei. 5. Office. 4. Issei. 3. Office. 2. Issei. 1. No one understood what they were saying until they heard how the door exploded. And several renegade and fallen devils among other races entered. Everyone was surprised since they didn't notice them. Issei. Wow, we have visitors. I don't remember to send them invitations, and you, Juliet. Juliet. Nope. Without your permission I don't do anything. Issei. That's the way I like it, you're the best. Stroking her head, which she happily accepted. Serafal. Issei, what will you do? Issei. Ara, did you call me by my name? Later I will punish you, yes. Serafal, hearing that, opened her eyes like saucers, as she thought she wouldn't give that for the current situation. Hi to Issei. You must go back and apologize to Rizavam-sama. Issei. Did that old man like me again so much that he would bother me so much? I know I'm handsome, but I don't bat for that side. Cut the crap. The girls then had an idea, and that was to get information from their enemy, since they were very curious about Issei. Serafal. Because he wants Issei back. Mentally hitting herself for how she called Issei back where she saw him and noticed him with a big smile on his face. Ahahaha, don't you know what kind of monster he is? It seems strange to me that many people were standing next to him. Well, we don't lose anything by telling them, maybe they will do us a favor and beat him up for us. Roswis. What did he do? Well, Issei was the one who was in charge of killing all the enemies. Lavinia. That's not so bad. Ahahaha, that's just the basis of it all. Someone was about to say something, but everyone heard Issei's laughter. You crazy bastard, what are you laughing at? Issei. You know it's not time for them to know about me yet. And if they find out it will be through my mouth. Removing the blindfold from his eyes, and everyone noticed his serious eyes, which was very rare for him. Julieta took Fenrir in her arms and went to Lavinia and took her hand. Lavinia. You want me to take you somewhere else so you don't see this? Julieta. No, I want to see. Lavinia. After hearing what they said, you're not afraid. Julieta. Lavinia Nisan, I know Issei's whole life. He has never hidden anything from me. Lavinia. So. Juliet. He will tell them you know Lavinia Nisan, Issei Nai-san has had a very difficult life and I will always be by his side. I hope you will also support him. Squeezing Lavinia's hand where she was surprised to know that, but she didn't say anything else. Issei. It's time for action. Stretching his bones and making signs with his hands. Issei. I'll have to get a little out of control since there are so many of them. Curse technique lapse. Blue. Reverse cursed ritual. Red. Everyone felt a great chill as they felt a great amount of power up to OPHIS. Hollow technique. Purple. Throwing the great sphere where the devils could do nothing because of fear. The power destroyed everything in its path where it created a great destruction and left no one alive. At that moment Issei took the bandage out of his pocket and put it on again. Issei. Well, who is hungry? Lavinia. But what the hell does that mean, who is hungry? Are you an idiot? Don't you see the destruction you caused besides everything you said? Issei. We have to change the environment. Seraphol. Issei, what was that all about? He just looked away, causing Seraphol to get a vein from his childish attitude. Seraphol. Husband. Issei. Tell me my wife what is wrong. Seraphol. Tell me what you did to be so hated. Ricky. What else could he do but bring trouble? He must not even have friends. Issei. Of course I have Brad. Sona. You don't really have them since you have Ravel here for a bed and Jean is in trouble and the black-haired woman maybe too. Since I didn't know she was OPHIS and she changed her aura. Issei. Well, it doesn't matter, with time we will get along better. Roswis. You have friends at least. Issei saw his watch and someone was about to say something, but at that they saw two figures at the door, a black hair and a pink hair. Issei saw them and ran to them. But when he arrived he was hit by the pink hair, sending him flying close to the group. Lavinia. Those are your friends. Issei. My best friends. Giving him a smile where seconds later he stood up. Issei. Long time no see guys, how are you doing? What the fuck are you talking about? 2 years ago you left us alone on a mission. Issei. I just wanted to see your potential and it worked. Thumbs up with a smile. Where he only took one hit. Seraphol. Excuse me, but who are you? Leaving Issei lying on the ground with a bump. My name is Yuki and this is. I'm Yuki's partner. Issei. I met them when they were kids and well I trained them a little bit. Don't be silly, you made us train to the point of no more power. Issei. But it worked, didn't it? Well it did, and thanks to that I got along better with Yuki. Giving a big smile where those present felt scared since she looked like a crazy woman. Issei. Julieta, you remember them? Juliet. A little bit. The last thing I remember is how Yuki Nai-san was running in fear. Issei. It was a good day that day. Yuki. Don't make me remember please. Because it was a memorable day. Lavinia. Leaving that aside, what are they doing here? Issei. They're just here to do some research. Yuki. Bullshit, he just called us to do his job. Issei. Don't say that, it's just a favor. Yuki. Do you want me to show you the message? Issei. No. Roswis. What kind of work? The usual, torturing, no big deal. Riaz. You guys are crazy. Hey, we get that a lot, but it doesn't matter. Besides, Yuki likes it that way, isn't that so, Raidu? Yuki just nodded quickly while Issei got a chill because of how weird their relationship was. Ravel. I'm amazed that they didn't want to kill Issei. Believe me, we've tried, but he's always saved by an annoying barrier that protects him. Jean. Tell me what Issei did in the past. I thought it was weird that you were surrounded by people, and the reason is because you didn't tell them the truth. You crazy bastard, I hope you'll be disgusted when they find out. Issei. That's how you treat your master. But you want to be punished. Stopped laughing and instantly stood behind Yuki. Issei. Well, leaving that aside, let's go eat the meat, I think it's ready. Going to the kitchen while the rest stood there until they went too. Time went by and it was just good laughs between Issei and because even though they talk to each other, they are good friends. Juliet was talking to Yuki where he told her some stories. The girls wanted to know about Issei's past, but whenever they approached Yuki he didn't say anything, and with Yuno they didn't even try, since they knew how crazy she was. The next day Issei was in the courtyard watching the sunrise. Issei. Something's wrong Yuki. Yuki. You really won't tell them. Issei. But then there's no hurry I guess. And tell me will they be able to do the mission? Yuki. It's no big deal really. Issei. I'm glad to hear that. You know, they're bothering me more and more and I don't have time for games. Yuki. You want that piece so badly. Issei. I already fought for a long time and I deserve it, but that's impossible since there's always trouble, plus I have to protect Juliet. Yuki. I see. We'll help you with whatever we can. Issei. I'm glad about that. Giving a big smile and seconds later they entered the house where minutes later the inhabitants started to wake up. Issei almost kicked the Gremory and Citri group out as he didn't want to see them anymore. Both Seraphol and Roswis made them sleep there. Issei. How did you girls sleep? Seraphol. No idea, I had a feeling you were going to enter the room sooner or later. Roswis. He's right. Issei. So little confidence they have in me. Seraphol Roswis. Yes. Issei fell to her knees with a depressive cloud in her head. Well, both of them want to avoid laughing at the current situation. Office. What's going on here? Issei. Nothing. Getting up as if nothing happened and going to the kitchen. An hour later Ravel and Jean took Juliet to school while the rest stayed at home. Issei. Well, what are you two doing here? You should be in that place by now. You know. Hey, give us some rest, are we machines for coming and going? Issei. Yep. At that Yuno took out her knife and started to follow Issei while he was taunting her. Seraphol. Where are you going? Yuki. I'm sorry I can't tell you. I know Issei can act like that, but when it comes to protecting someone he is very serious. Roswis. I know. Remembering when she had a mission with him. Meanwhile Issei stood still as his cell phone started ringing and Yuno was trying to stab him but nothing. Issei. Yusaka and that's why you're calling me. Yusaka. Aren't you surprised that I have your number? Issei. Juliet gave it to Kunu and she gave it to you, I'm wrong. Yusaka. Nope, you're absolutely right. Issei. Then something's up. Yusaka. Kunu misses her friend and she wanted to know if she could go see her and spend a few days with you. Issei. Sure, why not? This place is kind of boring and it will be nice to have some joy. Yusaka. Good, I'm glad. I'll tell you the day we arrive. Issei. I'm glad you're coming too. Yusaka. Why? Issei. You'll find out when you arrive, the only thing I'll tell you is that I'm going to enjoy it like you can't imagine. Yusaka heard that and just let out a little laugh and then hung up. Issei. You're done girl, I have things to do just like you. You know. You saved yourself from me again. Issei. Yeah right. Going with the rest. Both Yuno and Yuki were about to leave, but Yuno stopped and saw Issei with a big smile. Issei. Hey, are you sick to be smiling like that? Yuno. Well, it's time for my revenge. Issei. What the hell did you do? Yuno. Well, since you called me out of the blue, I also called a friend who wants to see you. Giving Issei a smile where he took a step back since he knew who it was while the rest of the girls looked at him funny. Seraphol. Who are you talking about? Yuno smiled and Yuki was nervous where the girls didn't know why until Seraphol heard a voice in her ear. Talk about me. Instinctively Seraphol jumped backwards falling close to Issei. Where he for his part didn't know what to say. You missed me Ice-chan. Giving him a smile bigger than Yuno's. Issei quickly turned around and saw Yuno dragging Yuki. Issei. Hey, don't go take this crazy girl with you. Yuno. You made her like this. Did you forget? Issei. No, that was you, but it doesn't matter, take her away. In that instant the girl gave Issei a big hug where he tried to get her off, but nothing, and every time he felt that the hug was stronger. Issei. Please call the police, they are killing me Aya. Jean. Hey, stop exaggerating, don't say so much nonsense. Issei. Believe me, if you take me as a monster, what would you think of her? Don't say that, dear. Lavinia. Hey, who the hell is she? Issei. Oh, fuck. I'm his first wife and I took his virginity in one beautiful night. The girls present were in shock when they heard that and instantly saw Issei and released a murderous intention directed only to him. Ravel. Explain yourself, Issei-kun. Issei. In my defense, it was nothing beautiful that day, there was a massacre. Office. So you don't deny it. Issei. Things happen, that's all I can say. Lavinia. What nonsense have you been doing this time? We have done everything. Issei. Hey, keep quiet. You know. Good luck, my friend. Thanks for calling me, now I'll be with him forever. Saying goodbye to her friend while Yuno went to her mission with her partner. Roswis. Excuse me, what's your name? Emiko Toga. Well, that was my former name, now it's Haidu Toga. Giving the group a smile. Someone was about to say something, but Juliet spoke first from the second floor. Juliet. Toga Wani-chan. Going down the stairs where Toga heard that voice, smiled and went to Julieta and received a hug. Lavinia. Julieta, you know her? Julieta. Yup, I played with her many times when Issei Nai-san took her home and she taught me some things. Toga. She has a future, hehehe. Ravel. Issei, what kind of person do you want to turn the girl into? Issei. One of a kind like me. Juliet. Long time no see, where you've been. Toga. Having some fun and looking for your cousin. Julieta. You know how it is, hehehe. Toga. Yes, I know, tell me, why don't you go play a little, I have to talk to him. Julieta just nodded and went to the yard to play with Fenrir. Serafal. How did you two meet? Toga. It was really nice. Issei. Your definition of beautiful is very different from what others think. Toga. I was a prisoner of Rizavam. The group of girls were surprised to hear that. Toga. I saw Issei a few times until the day he revealed himself and freed all the prisoners like me. And well, since the day I saw him I fell in love with him, so I followed him. Lavinia. Why? Toga. He has a beautiful smile when he kills someone. Also that day I helped him with his massacre and well, I was at my limit, so I threw myself at him and we did it for a few days in the middle of the corpses. The girls were in shock upon hearing such a thing and instantly saw Issei where he had a neutral face. Issei. First, I didn't control my power well, and second, I told them that your definition of beautiful is weird. Office. You have been busy hearing so many things about you in such a short time. Issei. What can I say, I don't like to be still. Toga. Issei, how about we go have some fun? Issei. No thanks, I'm busy teaching, maybe some other time. Lavinia. How many wives do you have, Issei, and don't lie to me? Issei felt all the looks from the girls. Issei. Julieta, what happened to you, you look terrible. The girls instinctively looked behind and saw nothing, but when they turned around again, they noticed that Issei was no longer there. While he was running with Julieta in his arms, while he felt a great murderous aura from far away. Juliet. Where are we going? Issei. Yusaka called me and told me that Kunu misses you, so I'll take you there to play with him, do you like the idea? Juliet. Sounds great, but what about school? Issei. But I'll fix that later. Juliet. And Toga Wani-chan wanted to play with her and show me her skill is great. Issei. Another time, I have a feeling she'll never leave our lives. Juliet. Great. Meanwhile, Issei was running as fast as he could to get away from the girls, while they were all annoyed but one person. Toga. This is fun. Lavinia. It doesn't bother you. Toga. Nope, since I'm having fun looking for it and when I catch it, I'll make it mine again. Serafal. I know Issei is strong, but why does he look weak in front of you? Toga. So you don't know. Broswis. What a thing. Toga. He acts weak in front of women so they can do whatever they want to him. Jean. That's a lie. He gave me a big blow once. Toga. You should have done something, but otherwise he's weak. But I'd kill maybe for Juliet-chan, so take care of that girl if you don't want the end of the world. Starting to walk to the exit as he hummed and started his quest again. All the girls were partly curious about what would happen, so they also went with Toga. A few hours had passed since Issei decided to leave his house to see Toga again and decided to go to Kyoto, where he entered the temple without warning, and when they were inside they were both surrounded. Juliet. Issei Nai-san, didn't you tell them we were coming? Issei. I wanted it to be a surprise, hahaha. Noticing how many guards had them surrounded while pointing their guns at them. But at that moment Princess Kunu arrived, and when she noticed the commotion, she asked for permission to see the situation, and when she was in front she was glad. Kunu. Juliet. When she heard her name she turned around, and when she did so she was glad because she was her great friend, and without wasting time she got down from Issei's arms and went to Kunu, giving him a hug. Kunu. Guards can go, they are my friends. Without saying anything everyone present returned to their place of work. Issei. How are you, little one? Kunu. I'm fine, but don't call me like that, I'm already grown up and I'm training to be the next leader of the faction. Issei. I see, good job. Stroking her head where she just pouted, but Issei noticed how she wagged her tails where he smiled when he noticed that. Isaka. And the surprise. Issei. Well, my cute little cousin didn't want to wait to see her friend, so we came earlier. Isaka. I'm glad, so there is more joy in the house. Let's go to the living room for a drink. Kunu. I'll take Juliet-chan to play. Isaka. Don't leave the house. They both nodded and left the place, while the adults went to the living room and sat down. Isaka. Whenever there is a meeting with the other leaders, they always talk about you. Issei. Wow, I'm popular. Isaka. You should be more serious, you know they will turn against you. Issei. If they have the courage to do it I don't mind, but let's leave the boring topics if. Isaka. Well, what do you want to talk about? Issei. Do you remember when we ended our call? Isaka. A little bit, you told me that I was going to enjoy it and I don't remember the rest. Issei. You see Isaka, I am very straightforward and I will say that I am attracted to you. Isaka. You flatter me with those words. Issei. I'm not lying, so from today you will be mine. Isaka. And what if I don't agree? Issei. I'll keep insisting until you accept me as the magical girl. Isaka. I'm surprised she fell for you. Issei. What can I say, I'm irresistible. Isaka. You know I let you try, let's see how far you get, it will be fun. Issei. I like those words. One more thing, I have some wives out there and some soon to be wives like you. Isaka. What do you have planned? Issei. I have no idea, but you just wait for me. Isaka. Well, but I have a feeling that soon this place will get livelier. Issei. I say in 2 days it will be just like you say, so let's have fun, yeah. Getting up from the sofa and extending his hand where Isaka just took it with a smile, and at that they both left the place. In the distance 2 girls were watching everything with a smile. Juliet. Issei nice, and it's great if it goes on like this, we'll be family. Who knew? Your cousin is very sincere, but I really hope he makes it because my mother needs someone by her side. Juliet. Let's do our best to make it possible. Where they both shook hands seriously. The day went by where they both had fun, going to several places where they both noticed how 2 people were following them, but they didn't take importance since they knew who they were. The next day Isaka decided not to go out since he had work to do, and the girls went to play and Issei went for a walk since he was a little bored. While doing so, he noticed several students from different academies. Issei. Wow, this place is very famous for the students since they always come here. He looked around until someone grabbed his shirt from behind. Issei. Excuse me, could you let go of me? Why do you say that, Issei? Hearing that voice he felt a big shiver, turning around and turning pale. More when he noticed a beautiful smile. Issei. What the hell are you doing here? Pure coincidence, I'm on a trip on behalf of my school. I've been looking for you all this time, I missed you so much. Issei. You're just a college student. You advanced much faster than the others. I missed you a lot, so I won't leave from today. Issei. You're wrong, girl. For you, yes. Tell me you haven't done anything wrong, not really like cheating on me. Issei, hearing that question, started to whistle and take steps back, but he was stopped. Tell me. He was about to answer, but when he saw in front of him he noticed a group of girls not very happy. Lavinia. Issei, who is she? Issei. I am only 20 years old and I will die being so young, well, hypocrisy. Toga. Honey, answer me. Issei. When I was in high school I met her, I just advanced too fast and she was left behind. Toga. Get to the point, okay? Who are you and why do you see my beloved like that? Toga. He is mine. Issei. Toga. Stay out of this. Issei. I was just saying. Taking a few steps back. Toga. I'm his wife, like Lavi-chan and the others present. Serafal. Wait, what? Braswis. I'm nothing. Issei. You being here just proves otherwise, dear. I'm glad to see you. I am Satu Matsuzaka, his girlfriend since school. Satu? So don't go to him because he's mine. Taking Issei by the neck and putting his head between her breasts. Issei thought. This is nice. Jean. I should be surprised, but this is becoming normal. Office. But it's fun. Toga. It'll be more fun if that broad stays away from him. Satu. If you want to fight then it'll be easier. Toga. I like those words. Seraph, create a barrier and I'll kill this crazy woman. Issei. You don't have the right to say that word, you know. Toga. After this I will punish you, Issei, and this will be how we met and the girls will help me. The others heard that and opened their eyes like saucers as they got involved in a silly fight. Issei. I better get out of here. But as he only took one step he was caught by both girls, where they tied him up and sat him on a chair with a trophy sign on his chest. He could easily get out of there, but he was too lazy to run and be followed, so he just had to wait for the outcome while he watched as both girls summoned their knife. Both girls were ready to attack, but at that instant Satu's cell phone rang. Toga. Don't you think this is a bad time? Satu. I'm on a hike, my partner is probably looking for me, so wait. Without waiting for an answer, he answered the call. Satu. Yes, what's up? Don't give me that, where are you, we have to go back. Satu. Go without me, I don't think I'm going back to the United States, I finally found that person. You're talking about the guy you're always telling me about. Satyu? That's right. Let me meet him, I'm curious. Satyu? Sure, come, but there is a barrier, so be careful. Okay. Where the call ended. Satyu? A friend of mine is coming, so you'll have to wait. Toga? It will be more fun if there are more people. Satyu? How did you meet Issei? Toga? It was very romantic that day. Jean? I don't want to hear that story again, it's horrible. Ravel? I think so too. Satyu? Tell me, Issei, why you didn't come back to look for me. Seeing Issei with a quality smile where he didn't know what to say. Issei? I was called to work and I didn't have time to go there. Satyu? You're lying. Walking up to Issei and punching him in the face where the girls were surprised that he touched him. Serafal? How did you do it? Satyu? They don't know. Toga? I kinda do and now I confirm it, hahaha, it will be more fun. Satyu? And then you will tell me. Issei? This? Looking at the girls where they just looked away but with a smile. Issei thought. Traitors. Satyu? Issei-kun, I'm not very patient and you know it. Issei? I forgot about you. Satyu erased his quality smile and put on a very serious look and gave off his murderous aura towards Issei. Satyu? Dear Issei, then I will see to it that you never forget. Stabbing him with a pig in the stomach where the girls opened their eyes like saucers. Lavinia? Hey, what's wrong with you? Satyu? Don't worry, he will be fine. Pulling out the knife where instantly the wound healed. Satyu? It was our game. Issei? That's a lie, that game was played. He didn't finish the sentence because at that moment all the girls were staring at him. Toga? Ara, why don't you finish Issei with what you were going to say? Office? You still have secrets. Issei? I just remembered a movie, hahaha, what a thing to say. Roswis? You're bad at lying. Satyu? Something else to say. Issei? I love you. Satyu? That doesn't work right now. Where the group of girls started walking towards him. Issei was about to leave, but at that instant someone entered the barrier where Issei let out a sigh of relief, but when he saw the person he started to gasp in fear and tried to leave, but Toga and Office wouldn't let him. Satyu? Come, I want to introduce you to my boyfriend, he is Frank. He said it with surprise and a smile where they all saw Issei seriously where he just started to whistle. Toga? You know her? Issei didn't answer and went on with his business. Satyu? I think you are confused, he is Issei. Remember I told you about my partner I had in England and he left out of the blue, well that's him. And I am surprised to see you I mean Issei. With a serious look. Issei? No comment. Jean? You know her? She's my partner. Serafal? Why this doesn't surprise me. Satyu? I'm sorry but he's mine. Toga? No, he's mine. Issei? I have Issei. Toga, Satyu? No. Issei? Well, I was just saying. Why did you leave Issei, didn't we have a lot of fun? Issei? Getting stabbed every day is not as much fun as you think. That's what you get for talking to other girls next to me and I'm glad you can heal so you can go on. Lavinia? Issei, do you like crazy girls? Issei? You know, even I wonder about that. Ravel? You won't say anything. Toga? I accept that I'm crazy but for him. Satyu? He changed my life. Half the time I don't have any friends or any woman approaches me I'm fine. Issei? Just because you and I are dating means I can't have friends. You can have ugly friends. Issei? My beauty is unique, that's impossible. Whereupon she instantly received a blow to the head from Satyu. Satyu? Don't exaggerate. Roswis? Who are you and how did you meet him? Pardon my manners, my name is Akane Hiyama. Akane? And I recently moved to America and met Satyu. But I'm surprised that you and he were a couple. Satyu? What a small world. Jean? Too small I would say, and how did you meet him? Akane? I went to where he was studying because that's where he practiced to become a teacher and I liked it. Issei? That's partly true and well you know how popular I am, but one day out of the blue no girl approached me and it was all thanks to her. Akane? You were mine so I had no problem. Issei? Yes, once she saw me with a girl outside school and the next day her body appeared in a river. Murky. Akane? He fell in. But never mind, how about we continue the game, we paused. Pulling out her knife and giving Issei a smile. Satyu? How about we put it aside and share it since I really like you. Akane? If that's what you want, that's fine. Toga? More friends. Satyu? Well, Monday will be Jean and Ravel, Tuesday Lavinia and Serafal, Wednesday Office and Roswis, Thursday Toga, Friday Akane, and Saturday me and Sunday will be your day off for you to rest. Issei? And my opinion doesn't counter what? Toga. Your opinion stopped mattering a long time ago. Your only duty is to make us happy, okay? Serafal. Wait, what do I have to do? Jean. I'm saying the same thing. Satyu. I'm not stupid, you know, and I can tell there are some missing, aren't there, dear? Issei. And you're right, you're missing Suzaku and Yusaka. Serafal. Wait, what? Satyu. I see then that Suzaku in the game and Yusaka on Friday with a cane. Writing down the names in a notebook where some girls didn't know what to say because of what was going on. Lavinia. Issei, you will get worse and worse and you will know it on Tuesday. Issei. But you mean in bed, don't you? Lavian. Play dumb, play dumb. Issei. Okay. Getting up from the chair. Issei. It was a nice family reunion, but I have to go. Turning around, but two people put their hands on his shoulder. Toga. Not without being punished. The cane. My knife missed your blood, babe. Issei. Fuck me. It was a new day, and the girls went to stay at Yusaka's house, where at first he was surprised, but accepted them, since the place would become livelier. Issei walked through the corridors to the dining room where the girls were eating, and two girls got up and went to him. Juliet. Issei nice and good morning. Kunu. Good morning too, Chan. The girls who were eating choked when they heard that, and Yusaka just let out a small laugh. Issei. And that? Kunu. Well, my mom told me that you two were dating, and that means you'll be my dad. Issei. If that's so great. Looking at Yusaka with a big smile. Satyu. Wow, I didn't expect that. Juliet. That's great, the family is growing. But I'll tell you, Kunu-ni-chan, okay? Kunu. That's fine with me. Where they both left the dining room to go play. Issei. Wow, I didn't expect to be a father so young, but it's great. Became. And you don't want any more children. Toga. If we start from now, in a few days you'll have many more. Issei. Slow down, am I a machine or what? Office. You'll do fine. Issei. Let's leave the jokes aside. Taking a seat next to Serafal, where he grabbed her waist and sat her on his lap. Serafal. Hey, why are you doing that? Issei. I just wanted to hug my magical girl. Serafal. Let go of me. Issei. No. Roswis. If you keep this up you'll get in trouble with the devils. Issei. I don't care, as well as Asgard, by taking my beloved Valkyrie. Roswis. I'm not going anywhere. Issei. So you say now. Ravel. You can go wrong with Ria-sama. Issei. You say it for the Siskin, you're calm, nothing will happen. Lavinia. Leaving that aside, I have a mission tomorrow. Toga. Where are you going? Laviana. To investigate a group of the Cows Brigade. Toga. Sounds great, I'll go with you so I can have fun. Satyu. Me too. Became. I'll stay and play with Issei. Jean. I have to keep training or else that idiot will keep bothering me. Issei. You've got some nerve calling me that. Jean. With all the things you've done, you deserve it. Issei. We'll talk about it when we get back. Isaka. Well. I didn't finish because the door opened and there were two guards. Isaka-sama, the council would like to see you right now. Isaka. I will come in a few minutes. I'm sorry, but it's urgent. Whereupon she just let out a sigh and nodded, and both layers left. Serafal. Something's wrong. Isaka. Trouble, I guess you guys go on, I'll go see what you want. Issei. I'll go with you. Toga. If you go it means it will be fun. What will happen? Where the others went, some went out of curiosity and others to see action. Minutes later Yusaka was opened the door where he saw some serious elders and a group of groups. Thank you for coming, Yusaka Dono. Isaka. What do you want? I have things to do. For a long time we had talked about it, and it is time for you to have a partner to reign with you. There are many nobles present here who are willing to be with you. For all the men gave her a smile, but she could sense their lust for her. Isaka. I have no intention of getting married right now, and even less out of obligation. It's not up for discussion, this has to be given, so accept. Issei put his hand on Yusaka's shoulder and took a few steps forward. Issei. Look, old man, she doesn't want you to insist. Didn't your mother teach you to be such a nuisance? How dare you talk to me, human? And what right do you have to be in this place? Issei. I go wherever I want, and today I felt like coming here. Besides, that yokai is mine, so stop bothering me. At that, one of the nobles took a few steps forward, being a few hundred meters away from Issei, with a smile of superiority. Why don't you go play somewhere else, you filthy human, since with just your presence the place stinks? Issei. That's what I should say, since I smell like a dead dog. Where instantly some girls laughed at the comment, provoking the anger of the yokai. Who do you think you are to talk to me like that, you piece of shit? Issei. You really want to know who I am? Speaker, you will die right here. Issei. I am. taking a few steps back with a smile. Issei, the sorcerer. With his powers. His great powers. Raising his hand upwards as he created a blue sphere. Issei, under the spell of this shaman the scale will rise. The people watching will marvel at the power that will emanate from me. To the cold it will warm. Its brutal power. With a simple gesture, destroy an animal. Throwing the blue sphere at the yokai in front of him, killing him instantly, leaving the council and nobles in shock. Balsatu recorded everything and some girls were wide-eyed, so they watched more because of what he said. Issei, I would like to keep singing, but I forgot the lyrics, ha 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 ha. How dare you kill a nobleman? Issei, life is too short to deal with idiots like him. This won't stay like this. Snapping his fingers where instantly several layers came out. Issei, well, take out your dogs because I'll take out my dragon. Pointing at Office where she had a serious look towards Issei. Office, I won't do anything. Issei, kill them and more than I reward you, okay? Office, if that's the way it is, fine. Issei, but go into dragon mode so they will shit their pants in fear. Office just let out a sigh and nodded where he took a few steps forward and changed his appearance to a large black dragon, scaring the layers where Issei held his nose. Issei, wow, some of them were really scared shitless. Letting out a small laugh where Office instantly launched large flares of fire, killing everyone in the room, leaving only the group of girls and Issei. Bravo. He just killed very strong people. Issei, never mind, you did a great job. Office, but I'll tell you later what I want. Issei, well, with that settled, no one will bother my beautiful yokai anymore. Isaka, you know you'll only cause more disturbance by doing this. Issei, we'll think about that later, not now. Serafal, I better go, I have work to do. Roswis, I have to go back since I have to teach a class, and you Issei, what are you going to do? Issei, even if I don't want to go, I have to go, or else my students will be very happy for my departure, and my duty as a teacher is to torture them. Satyu, I have to look for a college nearby. Became the same. Where they continued with the talk while leaving the place in a mess. Serafal and Roswis decided to leave instantly as they didn't want any more trouble. Issei was walking next to Yusaka where they went to his office, and when they were about to talk, two girls came in. Issei, good, I'm glad you're here. Juliet, something's wrong. Issei, yep. Julieta, I have things to do, and well, would you like to stay for a while with Kunu and Yusaka? Julieta, I would love to, but what about school? Issei, you are very smart, you don't need it, your only duty is to be happy, and what better with your sister? Kunu, great, let's live together. Where both girls went to Issei and gave her a hug, and when they separated they went to where Kunu was talking to her about her new room. Isaka, there's something wrong for you to leave her here. Issei, Office will stay too since she is her friend too. And on the other hand, I have some things to do since I sent 2 people a few days ago, and well, they already have the results and I have to go. Isaka, I understand. Issei approached her and took her by the waist and gave her a big kiss that surprised the kitsune, but then she reciprocated at the end. Issei gave her a big smile and went to the door where he opened it and left the place. Issei was getting off the train where 2 people were waiting for him. Issei, I'm so happy to know that they came for me. You know, we don't want a repeat of last time when you didn't know how to get here. Yuki, and as punishment you sent us some mad dogs. Issei, what a good time. Wiping the smile off her face and having a more serious one. Issei, and well, what do you have for me? Yuki, let's go. The 3 started to walk where they reached a car and took the road to their destination, where when they arrived both young men guided Issei to a room where there was a devil tied up and with many signs of torture. Issei, what a story he has for me. You know, he's brave so far, he hasn't said anything. I like that so I can have more fun. Issei, I see, which ones have you used? Yuki, number 3, 5, 7, 9. Issei, and the first and second. You know, we want it to last, we don't want to kill it yet. Issei, I see. Raising the demon's head where at the sight of Issei he spat at it. Issei, how polite. Rizavam-sama did a lot for you, and this is how you repay him. Issei, believe me, I am very grateful to him for torturing me for so long. One day of this I will return the favor. You little. Issei, good memories aside, tell me, where is the old man? Ha, you think I'll tell you dead first. Issei, there are many ways to kill you, but that would be too easy. You know, right. Issei, how about this? Touching the demon's chest where he was about to say something, but at that Issei pierced the demon's chest where he took his heart. Issei, don't worry, you won't die, you're just going to feel a lot of pain. Squeezing the heart where the devil just spit out blood that bounced back at Issei. I'll never tell. Issei. For my sake. Moving his hand and grabbing a lung where the devil started to gasp for breath. Issei. I took medical classes in college and actually I had planned to be a doctor, but then I changed my mind since I wanted to make children happy. You? How? Issei. But I just got here. If I don't go back to Rizavam-sama to give my report he will send his soldiers. Issei. Hey, I'm really interested in that. But just so you know, someone has already arrived. Yuki. Since when? Issei. Just a few minutes ago that person followed us. Yuki. Ha now you'll know what they're capable of. Issei just gave him a smile when he heard such words. At that a person spoke while sitting down. Well, but if it isn't my dear playmate. Issei. I thought you would be dead by now actually. You'd like that, wouldn't you? Issei. Maybe. You know I miss those times when we both had fun. Issei. All good things come to an end. I still remember when we locked a lot of fallen people in an academy and made them suffer while they despaired. Issei. And that's what you like the most, isn't it? Yep, and since you left everything is boring. Getting up from her seat and going to Issei where Yuno and Yuki were just watching the situation. The girl approached Issei and caressed his face. I like the white band. Issei. It filled with blood faster. I understand and tell me, do you want us to play strange do it? Issei. Maybe just give me a second. Walking towards the devil where he was still smiling. Issei. It was fun talking. Taking the demon's head and removing it where a stream of blood came out. How beautiful. You know. Issei, who's the crazy one? Issei. An old playmate. Hello, my name is Junko Enoshima. Junko. And thanks to Issei I experienced new emotions. Yuki. What did you do? Junko. We tortured a little but not physically, but mentally it was fun. Issei. She likes to see the desperation of others and well in the past I liked to play. Yuki. Now I understand where you get so many crazy ideas. Issei. Yeah well. Turning around to see her old partner. Issei. So where is the old man? Junko. No idea, he just told me to come here and have fun, but I was surprised that you were here. I thought you had died. Issei. Well, as you can see I'm still alive and with a lot of energy. Junko. And you know about Toga. Issei. I imagine he must be playing with someone right now. Junko. I imagine she's having fun without me. You know. Now that I remember she mentioned you on a few occasions. Like about a threesome. Junko. Oh that time. Issei. Let's put the past aside. During that time I was very active actually. Junko. Too much but it was good when we repeated it. If you want to do it here. Issei. You tempt me but don't. Junko. Where is my dear Issei, you're boring. Issei. It must be over there. Junko. Then I'll take him out since I want to play with him. Throwing herself towards Issei where he just moved. Junko. Hey, you had to catch me. Issei. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Junko. I see. Issei. Tell me what happened to you. I still remember that I killed you that time. Yuki. Wait, what? Junko. The old man came and gave me a new body just like that. You know. Wait, you killed her. Issei. I didn't feel like playing anymore and well she insisted a lot so I killed her. While laughing a little. Junko. Yeah well thanks to that I never saw him again and I didn't have any more games. Issei. Yes, of course. It's hard to believe that. It's like saying that Yuki isn't afraid of Yuno. Yuki. Hey. Issei. But I'm right. Issei not hearing any words started laughing. Yuki. Oh please shut up. Issei. Yeah whatever you say. Junko. So what are we going to do now? Issei. That sounds like a herd. Junko. Well since I found you I won't let you go again. Issei. Maybe I should run you through with a Chidori just like Sasuke was going to do against the chewing gum hair. While in another dimension a person sneezed. Orochimaru. You're fine. The people didn't know what to say to such nonsense that Issei had said. Junko. I dare you to do it. Issei. You know I don't like it when you dare me, brat. Junko. I'm not that young for you to call me that old man. Issei. Yuki. He just arched an eyebrow where Issei walked up to him and gave him $50. Yuki. And this. Issei. Go get some ice cream and don't come back for 6 hours. Junko. It's too little money. Issei. Approaching Yuno and giving him $1,000. Junko. Take it back to the hotel and make it yours. Yuno. Say no more. Holding Yuki's hand while he screamed for help. Issei. Well it's time for fun. I'll show you that I'm not an old man. Junko. And I'm not a girl. Where they both had a serious face. Seconds later Junko jumped on Issei where she took everything from him. After a good night the other couple returned where Yuki was the most tired as he looked like a skeleton where Issei did not miss the opportunity to make fun of him. Some time later the couple left for another mission on Issei's side, although Yuno left a little upset but didn't say anything. Issei. So are you going to follow me around all day or what? Junko. I told you no. I was going to follow you from now on. Issei. Junko, I'm not the same as before. Junko. I realize that, but you must know one thing, dear. Issei. What? Junko. Your roots are never going to disappear, so no matter what you try, you will always return to that path. Issei. We'll see about that. Taking the road to his house where Junko followed him. Some time later they returned to the mansion where the girl, seeing another girl, didn't know what to say. Except Toga, who was happy to see her friend. Lavinia. Hey. Issei. Yes, first wife. Lavinia. Who the heck is she? Issei. Be careful, she's a crazy woman who likes to harass me. Junko. That's the best you could come up with. Issei. For now, yes. And well, her name is Junko, and she's someone I met with Toga while I was with the old man. Serafal. You'll tell us about your past. Junko. Come on, tell them, I want to see their expressions. Jean. Speak. Issei. Come to think of it, it's not as important as you think. Ravel. What did you do? Issei. Well, during my youth I killed many women and children. Toga. On one occasion you hung 100 children upside down while you gave them a slight slit in the throat where they suffered to death. Junko. Oh, I remember that, or how he killed women's partners in front of them. The girls didn't know what to say as they expected anything but to mess with children. Broswis. Why? Issei. Children are pure and I like to see their expressions. Serafal. You don't regret that? Issei. My pretty magical girl. Walking towards her where they were facing each other, where Issei took off her blindfold and showed her red eyes with a big smile. Issei. If I went back to the past I would do it again and again and again. Satyu. So what else did you do? Issei. I killed a lot of angels like other races. The Kane. You hate humans so you go after them. Issei. Partly humans are weak because when they fail they put it aside and they are selfish. I only prevented more stupidity from spreading in this world. Lavinia. I expected many things from you but not that. Issei. Life is not as rosy as everyone thinks. I give you an example, let's say heaven, everyone thinks angels are good, but there is always one that gives report to an old man. Serafal. Wait, what, and if so who is it? Issei. That's no fun. Serafal. So many lives are in danger and you only think about games. Issei. In life you win and you lose. But don't worry, as long as you're by my side no one will touch you. Serafal. What do you want to help us? Issei. Nothing, I already have everything I want. But don't worry, the old man won't have the courage to attack the sky. OPHIS. Why? Issei. Excellent question, my dragon, and the answer is because there is my next partner. I told the old man it was mine. Junko. Ha 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 ha, now I understand why you are so angry. Issei. I know. Serafal. You think that pigeon will be happy with you? Issei. You're not here. If I win you over she won't be so hard. Serafal. And who said you conquered me? Issei. My bed. Serafal, when she heard that, she turned red as a tomato, and so did some of the girls present. Jean. Stop making up. Issei. Give time to time. And back to what you think of my past, it's not so bad, is it? Lavinia. I must proceed everything. Ravel. Don't tell me that Juliet knows all this. Issei. Obviously she does. She knows my whole life. Broswis. You want to traumatize her. Issei. That will be impossible since she follows my legacy and not too far away she will be much better than me. Serafal. You want her to be a monster. Issei. And that's where you come in. Satyu. What do you mean? Issei. Look for many partners to help her think better. I'll be in charge of infusing her with my tricks, and you guys will be in charge of convincing her which side she'll be on, whether it's good or evil. It's a great deal, isn't it? Ravel. But what are you saying? Issei. The future of my beautiful Hari is in your hands. And don't worry, more help will be coming soon. OPHIS. You're funny, I like you. And don't worry, I'll train her just like you like it. Issei. Just for that I will reward you later. Jean. You're really going to help him with that madness? OPHIS. I really don't care what happens to this world. Just having Issei make me happy is more than enough. Having a red face just thinking what Issei will do to him. Ravel. You really drove one of the strongest people in the world crazy. Issei. It's part of my charm that every woman becomes attached to me, isn't it, girls? Satyu. Right. Bacane. Denying it doesn't help. Toga. When we play. Junko. I have some ideas about torturing someone. Issei. Don't worry girls, you'll soon wish you hadn't left my side. Taking Lavinia by the chin. Issei. It's not like that my dear. Lavinia. You're crazy. Issei. You say that but your body tells me otherwise. Seraphol. Stop it, I'm still processing all of the above. Issei. But that's nothing. Toga. Won't you tell him that you have the mother of that girl named Akeno? Issei. She. Roswis. Wait, what are you saying? Issei. Just because of that, Toga, you won't have Issei for a few days. Toga. No, please forgive me. Issei. Since she dropped the soup, I took it upon myself to attack her home and take her away. Seraphol. You know how she feels, don't you? Lavinia. Or her father. Issei. Tremendous woman deserves a real man, not a corpse. Besides, she's happy by my side even though she's working right now. Seraphol. If so, why didn't you go for Akeno since they are both the same? Issei. Nah, I was already with one of the clones and I don't like to court something used. I'll take her cousin instead. Jean. How on earth can they love this madman? Bacane. They'll soon understand, just like OPHIS, just give yourself time. Ravel. If that happens I'll give you permission to hit me. Junko. It's a deal. Seraphol. You'll tell her at least. Issei. Let her do it, I don't have her tied up. On the contrary, she doesn't want to do it since she knows her husband cheated on her and that her daughter is crazy. Seraphol. I don't really care anymore. I came to ask you a favor. Issei. What did you gain by doing so? Seraphol. What more do you want? Issei. Well, I already have you, so tell Penemu I want to see her. Seraphol. Are you an idiot? I don't get along with her. Issei. I'll give you 3 options. Number 1, you tell her I want a date with her. Number 2, you sleep with me today. Number 3, you sleep with me and Roswis. Those are the best options of your life. Both Seraphol and Roswis were red as tomatoes at such a proposal. Toga. I'm so jealous. OPHIS. You're telling me. Seraphol. I choose one. Issei. Well, what's the favor? Seraphol. That you accompany me to Olympus. Junko. I'm serious. Ravel. What's up? Junko. Well, that old man named Zeus is looking for him, he already slept with Hera in his bed. Issei. I don't understand why he got upset if he slept with half of Olympus. He even banged his own daughter, that's crazy. Roswis. Damn, and how will you go? Issei. Just let me make a phone call and we'll be greeted with a red carpet. Seraphol. I know I'll regret saying this, but who will you call? Issei. A goddess who was once indomitable but fell before my beauty. Toga. No, seriously, don't tell me what you will say to her. Issei. Oh yes. Roswis. Who is she? Issei. The elder sister of Zeus. Hestia. Days later, the group took the road to Olympus, where Issei went alone on his side, while for the devils went Seraphol, Riaz, Sona and their 2 partners, while for Grigori, Azazel and Lavinia, and from heaven only Michael, and for the Asgard Odin and Roswis. Issei. That this is not an important matter. Seraphol. Why do you say so? Issei. What are the children doing here? Riaz. Who are you calling a child? Issei. The 4 of you, perhaps there are more present. Ricky. You want to get beaten up, don't you? Issei. You tried that in the past and failed drastically, just like your clone. Azazel. Stop fighting and behave yourselves because this is very important. Issei. Yes, whatever you say. Continuing on their way and being close to their destination. Issei, just as he set his foot in Greek territory, a lightning bolt struck a little away from him, where everyone was surprised to see the god Zeus. Odin. Zeus don't know how long. He for his part only began to walk as Issei both seriously. Once they were face to face, they saw each other. Well, 3 people thought there was going to be a fight. But they were very surprised to see how both collided fists and started to laugh. Zeus. Damn crazy, long time no see. Issei. Same here, how are things going? Zeus just started laughing and put his arm around Issei's neck and they both went to the group. Lavinia. What's going on here? Roswis. I thought there was going to be a fight. Issei. I lied about that, and well, I have a good relationship with this old man. Zeus. Although at the beginning we fought a little when we found out what a stupid thing he did. Sona. What did he do to you? Zeus. Nothing important now that I think about it. He just slept with my wife. He said it simply as the rest of the group opened their jaws to the floor in surprise. Michael. Unimportant, he says. Zeus. Well, so, but leaving that aside, let's go. Walking while Issei followed him, and they both talked with laughter while the rest of the group followed them, still in disbelief. After a few minutes they reached their destination and went straight to their destination where the other gods were. Both the clones, Azazel and Auden, were surprised to see a great beauty in front of them. Kakashi stepped forward and as he was about to introduce himself she spoke. "Hi to Issei." The men were surprised to hear that name, but they were glad to see her so serious as they thought she would give a beating to their great enemy. Issei for his part took a few steps forward and saw her with a big smile. "Issei, you missed me my beautiful Hestia because I did." "Hestia? The truth?" Forming a slight smile on his face and getting up from his seat and going to Issei and giving him a hug that again surprised all the men that were with him. "Hestia? How many years has it been?" Issei. "No idea, I don't keep count and how you've been behaving." "Hestia? You forget that I'm older than you." Issei. "I know I like older girls, ha 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 ha." Looking at the other three while they looked away. Zeus. "Well, let's get down to business." Issei just nodded and took a seat where Hestia was before while she took a seat on his lap. "Ricky? Damn." Issei. "Thank you." Poseidon. "Are you an idiot for thanking her?" Issei. "You see fishy. When someone says that to me they're just flattering me." Zeus. "Wow, I didn't know that." Issei. "I'm like yin and yang, no matter what anyone says to me in the end it all works to my advantage." Having a big smile. Where he stood up and stood next to Zeus. Issei. "Hey, they are there right now aren't they?" Zeus. "Obviously you want to go." Issei. "Sure." They were both laughing where a big killer aura was going after both of them. Issei. "What do you mean it's cold, haven't you paid for the electricity?" Zeus. "Maybe it's because someone wants us dead." Pointing at Hestia who had a blank stare at both of them. Issei was about to say something, but then he heard a voice behind him. "Hera." "Hello Issei." He quickly turned around and when he did it for the first time he was surprised to see her as well as the rest. Issei. "Hera, what happened to you?" Hera. "Why do you say so?" Sona. "Those tattoos are just like the one you have." Issei. "Something like that, but wow, this is a surprise." Hera. "Well, how did Issei see me?" Turning around while Issei just nodded. Issei removed the blindfold from her eyes and as she did so several marks formed where he approached her and caressed her face. Issei. "You look beautiful, it's the most beautiful thing anyone has ever done for me." Wiping away a non-existent tear. Hera. "See, I told you Hestia that he was going to like it." Hestia. "Maybe he will later." Auden. "This Zeus dono won't do anything to see that." Zeus. "No, we haven't had anything for a long time and I have other people." Issei. "They must be beautiful." Zeus. "That's right." Issei. "But not like my partners." Zeus. Issei. "I'm right, no." Zeus. "Yes, sometimes I envy you." Issei. "I know, but it makes me laugh how possessed and others tried to woo Hestia, but in the end they didn't succeed, ha 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 ha." Zeus. "Don't remind me, that's why she came to me and made me set that rule that no one should approach her." Issei. "Ha ha 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 ha, but well, to cut to the chase, sign that alliance and I'll be on my way." Zeus. "Why the rush?" Issei. "I came because someone did me a favor because soon I have a date with one of the most beautiful women in Graigo Rai." The last was said slowly and with a smile, while Azazel spat out his tea and looked at Issei furiously. Azazel. "Are you an idiot?" Issei. "Maybe, but tell me my pretty magical girl where I have to go." He told her with a big smile, while Seraphil didn't know what to say. Seraphil. "About that I didn't, I'm sorry, ha ha ha." He told her nervously while Issei wiped his smile and Azazel laughed at the top of his lungs. Issei. Seraphil. She shuddered when she heard what he called her, since he always calls her a magical girl. She slowly looked up only to see a serious look from Issei with his red eyes. He approached her and grabbed her wrist. Issei. "He's still there, that place." Hera. "It's a memorable place, so yes." Issei. "Well, I'll reward you later, right now someone needs discipline since he cheated on me." Seraphil. "Wait, what will you do to me?" Hestia approached her and put her hand on her shoulder. Hestia. "You're going to enjoy it like you can't imagine." Seraphil heard that and tried to get out of Issei's grip, but it was impossible. Sona. "Hey Anne." She didn't continue as she fell to the ground in fear as Issei saw her with a very serious look. Issei. "Don't interfere, sister-in-law, right now my wife needs discipline because she knows I don't like lies." Taking her away from the place while the rest didn't know what to say. Zeus. "Well, how about we talk about the alliance?" Michael. "She won't say anything about what just happened." Zeus. "It's best not to mess with him when he's upset, I say that from experience." Hera. "Issei beat him up when the idiot tried to get into Hesta's bed in Issei's guise." Hestia. "It was a good day, I have it all on tape." Zeus. "Hey, you promised me you'd erase it." Hestia. Just so I have you under control, but well, I'll go make Serafal and Issei something to eat for when they're done. Para. I'll help you, I know how she'll end up. You two are coming. Lavinia and Roswis, who had stayed out of the situation, just nodded. More Lavinia, since she knew how Issei was when he got upset, while Roswis told herself internally not to make him angry. Seconds later they left the place, leaving the leaders talking about the alliance. While in Cow City, Juliet decided to go back home, since she wanted to wait for Issei there. At first Yusaka refused since she was under his care, but when she knew that OPHIS would go with her, she let her go. Bunu couldn't say much since he also had to train. Ravel. We still don't know when Issei will arrive, and she might get angry if she finds out that you came back. Juliet. That won't happen, don't worry, Ravel. One-chan. Jean. Okay, and tell me what you want to do. Juliet. Let's go for a walk because winter is coming and the weather is very nice. OPHIS. Let's go. And so the three girls left the house in the afternoon. Many men were staring at the girls, and one of them was OPHIS with such a body that he did not change it just to provoke Issei. They went to dinner, and after that they continued their walk until a group of devils along with some fallen angels surrounded the group. Wow, but look who we have here, one of the hero faction and a phoenix. Today we hit the jackpot. Rizavam Sama will reward us well if we take them. Jean. They are finished. When it comes to me and you, yes. Letting out a few laughs, as did the rest of the group, while the group of girls was serious. At that moment they remembered that Juliet was there, but when they saw her they were surprised to see her very calm. Julieta. Jean. One-chan, would you do me a favor? Jean. Tell me. Julieta. I want the arm of the guy who spoke. I didn't like the way he talked to you since you are Issei Nai-sen's partner. Jean, hearing the last thing, surprised her more than the first request. Ravel. But what are you saying? Juliet. Please. Looking at Jean with a smile where she let out a sigh and nodded, she instantly summoned a sword that caused some of the enemy group to shiver. At great speed Jean moved and cut off the arm of the devil, who screamed in pain. Seconds later Juliet had on her feet an arm that was looking at him seriously. After that she put her hand in a small bag behind her and pulled out a voodoo doll that surprised the three of them since they didn't know what she was carrying. Juliet dropped the doll on the demon's arm, where she then pulled out a nail and a hammer. Julieta. Voodoo technique. Resonance. Oh, little sis copying me. Hitting with a nail in the voodoo's chest, where instantly the devil felt a great pain in his chest, and as several iron stakes came out of his body until it exploded. Everyone was surprised when they saw that, especially the group of girls, since they did not expect such a thing. Julieta. I thought it wouldn't work, but I did it. Issei Nai-sen will be proud of me when I tell her to kill my first demon. She said this while jumping for joy as the group of enemies came out of their shock and quickly rushed to attack, more specifically Juliet. But as he took only a few steps, hundreds of purple snakes surrounded him and were killed in an instant. OPHIS. It's a pity they can't touch her. Turning around to see the little girl. Ravel. Julieta, what the hell is Issei teaching you? Julieta. Her skills, even though she told me that's the basics, I still have a long way to go. Jean. But you just killed someone and you don't feel bad. Juliet. It was bad because I would feel bad for him. Giving them a smile that was identical to Issei's. Ravel. Damn, you'll be just like Issei when you grow up. Juliet. That's my goal. Where the three noticed how one of Juliet's eyes changed color to a light blue like Issei's, but just as she came she left. Juliet. I will be strong to protect Issei Nai-san and you since you are his partners. Ravel. I don't remember accepting that. Jean. Least of all me. OPHIS. As long as he gives me something I'm fine with it. Juliet. Good. Then let's go. Starting to walk to the house as the three followed her. At Olympus, Issei was lying in his house with a smile on his face. Issei thought. You've taken a big step, Juliet. When I get there we'll go play. Turning around only to see Serafal next to him. Issei. You slept well, didn't you? Serafal. I thought you would never do anything to me, but I was wrong. Issei. I never go back on my words because that's my ninja way. Serafal. What the hell are you saying? Issei. I should stop watching anime. Serafal. You're weird. Issei. Yeah, but this weirdo took you, and now you can't escape me since you're mine. Serafal. How I got involved with you. Issei. Since the day you started asking me for help. You were destined to be by my side forever. Serafal. I see. Issei. But I still expect you to reunite me with Penemu. Serafal. Because. Issei. To annoy that crow when he finds out I took away someone close to him. Serafal. You're doing all this to annoy. Issei. Nope. Besides, the hardest blow will be when he sees me next to Gabriel. At that instant, I'll feel a lot of pleasure seeing him cry blood. Ha 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 ha. Serafal. I don't know if you know, but Gabriel can't tell people's intentions just by looking at them, so it will be impossible for you to get close to her. Issei. Don't worry about little things and well, we have to get out of here. Serafal. Good, and I'm sorry for not fulfilling part of my deal before. Issei. I'm glad you're sorry. Although it ended well in the end, but don't fail me again, Serafal, or next time I won't be so soft. Serafal. Right. Lendo to the bathroom while Issei put on his clothes and left the room. He walked around the place a bit until he ran into the young devils. Issei. But look who we have here, my future sister-in-law. Sona. Where is my sister? Issei. She's taking a bath after a good night. Kakashi. How dare you touch her? Issei. She won't be yours since the magical girl is now mine. And I will take away your future conquests. Giving him a smile that provoked the fury of one of the twins. Issei. But don't worry, you can keep your current partners since as far as I can see they are yours. Rias. Someday my brother will put you in your place. Issei. You know Rias, in the past I let him insult me whenever he wanted, but we all have a limit and well, I'll get rid of him. Riki. Are you forgetting that he is a Mayu and one of the most powerful beings in the world? Issei. Maybe so, but what I like the most is to make my enemies suffer mentally, so I'll take his wife from him. Rias. Are you an idiot? Ha 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 ha. Rafia hates you with all her being and has told me so in the past. Issei. You've never heard the phrase that from hate comes love. Letting out a laugh as he continued on his way. Issei. And one last thing. I know I haven't been an exemplary teacher these days since I haven't been around, but don't worry because when I come back I will give you so much homework that you will want to run away. Continuing to laugh as he left the group annoyed by everything Issei said. It was a new day at Olympus and everyone was having breakfast until someone stood up. Hestia. Something is wrong. Issei. I have something to do so I will leave today. Taking the road without paying any attention to what they were saying. Once on the outskirts of Olympus she took a big leap and headed for home. At the Haidu mansion the group was having breakfast until someone came in through the window. Issei. Hello. Forming a smile on her face as she saw everyone, Juliet seeing Issei got up from her seat and went to give her a hug. Juliet. Issei nice, and I have good news. Issei. Ah yes, tell me. Taking a seat on the floor while crossing her legs. Juliet. I killed my first demon. She said it with a lot of pride while puffing out her chest. Issei instantly grabbed her arms and threw her up. Issei. I'm proud of you, little one. Juliet. Thank you, Issei Nai-san. Jean. Who the hell would be happy to know that a child killed a demon? Bravo. There's someone. Issei. What do you want as a prize? Juliet. I want to know the sky, they say it's very nice. Issei. That's all. Looking at Office with a smile. Issei. We are leaving, my dragon. Office. I'm not your cab. Issei. Then I won't modify the cab anymore. Office. Good. Having a smile while thinking what Issei would do to him. Toga. That bitch is crazy. Office. Not like you. Satu. Bam bitch. In your face. Toga was only left with a word in his mouth since Office had left with Issei. Toga. You'll pay for this. The cane. I'm sure you will. Toga. Hey I have plenty of ideas. Continuing with his breakfast with a smile while Ravel and Jean were in a corner trembling with fear at the sight of such a smile. Meanwhile in heaven Issei and company were at the gates and when they were about to enter the guard stopped them. How did they get here? Issei. My cute little cousin wants to know the sky and well here we are. This is not a place for tourists. Issei approached them both and put her hand on their shoulders. Issei. Either let me in or I destroy the heavens. Both of them were about to attack but Issei put pressure on their grip. Issei. Do it the easy way or this white place will have a red color. Your leader told them about me, didn't he? Who are you? Issei. Hi to Issei, and I hope you never forget it. Opening the doors where she then turned around and gave her cousin a smile. Issei. Welcome to paradise. Juliet. Great. Taking Office by the hand and entering heaven without caring about the fear of both guards since they had heard how ruthless he was. Once inside, they walked around the place with a cheerful Juliet. Issei thought. This place is boring, there is nothing interesting. At that she stopped her step as she remembered something causing her smile to widen. Issei. Office, take care of Juliet, I have something to do not far from here. Office. Okay, but don't forget we have to do that later. Issei. Don't worry, I have a good tool. And with that said he went on his way just like Office with Juliet. Issei quickly sneaked to the next floors with a big smile. Issei thought. I will make you suffer, Azazel, for everything you have done to me. Reaching the 6th floor and walking slower. Issei thought. And then I will take revenge on you, Surziches. I let you insult me, but it's time to claim my reward for putting up with so much. Seeing in the distance a beautiful reed watering some plants. Issei cleared his throat and walked slowly. Issei. Hi Gabriel, it's a nice day, isn't it? She turned around when she heard his name and was surprised to see Issei since her brother had informed her about him earlier. Gabriel. How did you get here? Issei. They let me in. The angels are very nice people. Lying as he knocked out everyone he came across. Gabriel. You're lying to me. Issei. I'm a little clueless since I forgot you could do that. Gabriel. Ani-sama told me about you. And it's not right what you're doing. Issei. You two have been in wars, you must know that to win you have to spill some blood. Gabriel. Yes, but not the way you do it. Issei. You know I am very good at predicting the future. You want to know what will happen? Gabriel. Yes. Issei. Right. In the future there will appear a woman Pelagris with a big smile, but she will have two paths, one will be to destroy everything or to save everything. Which one do you think she will take? Gabriel. What are you talking about, I don't understand. Issei. You will see in time and then you will understand. Tell me Gabriel, do you want to have a drink with me? Gabriel. No. Issei. It's the first time that someone rejects me. So that's how it feels to be rejected, it's really weird. Gabriel. What do you want? Issei. You'll find out eventually, so I'll be direct. And the truth is I wish for you. Putting her hand on Gabriel's chin, she for her part just frowned at him. Issei. That look only makes you look sweeter. Gabriel. Go away. Issei. And if I don't want to? Gabriel. You will leave by force. Taking a few steps back. But Issei walked towards her and took her by the hand. At that instant some guards arrived, but before they reached both of them Issei clapped his hands and both of them went to another place. The guards didn't know what to say, since in front of them there were two trees. Gabriel opening his eyes was surprised to be in the forest. Issei. Get a little better. Gabriel. Where are we? Issei. I won't lie to you, I really have no idea, but it's not great, we are in the middle of nowhere. Gabriel just frowned at her, but when she was about to teleport away, Issei gave her a kiss that surprised her. She quickly separated from him and slapped him, and when she was about to leave she couldn't. Gabriel. What's wrong? Issei. That kiss wasn't for nothing. I blocked your magic right now, you're just a human. Gabriel. What are you planning to do? Issei. Nothing. Maybe we'll both be like Adam and Eve. Gabriel. You're bad. Issei. I get that a lot, but well, let's walk around a bit. Gabriel. I noticed something about you before. Why, you're used to smiling. Issei. You're good and I thought I was hiding it very well. Gabriel. And so? Issei. Let's get to know each other little by little and well, it depends on your attitude, maybe I'll tell you something. Gabriel. Why are you doing all this? Issei. Nobody notices your tears, nobody notices your sadness, nobody notices your pain. But everybody notices your mistakes. Gabriel. Then why don't you say anything? Issei. Why, I would be showing my weakness to my enemies and I have someone to protect. Gabriel. Not your cousin. Issei. If she wasn't there I would have nothing to hold on to in this life. That's why I made it my mission to find her company. Gabriel. I see. Issei. But I got attached to those girls. So don't say anything to them because they might be very happy. Gabriel. And when she leaves? Issei. I leave too. Because in this world there is no greater pain than knowing that no one needs you. Gabriel. Ani-sama spoke ill of you now that I know you a little. Issei. Then we'll have a drink when we get back. Gabriel. No. Issei. At least try. Letting out a sigh and going on his way. Gabriel just formed a faint smile and followed him. 2 days had passed since Issei kidnapped Gabriel, where Michael sent almost all his angels to look for her as well as Azazel, since he didn't have a good feeling about what his rival would do to her. All the two of them in that time talked more, and Gabriel got to know Issei more, who in his own words was someone kind and kept a lot to himself. Issei. It's been a quite few days, don't you think? Gabriel. Yes, but I'm late, I have to go back. Issei. You keep on with that idea and I thought you had forgotten it. Gabriel. My brothers will be worried about me if I take longer. Issei. Maybe. Gabriel. These days I've gotten to know you much better and you're someone good. So don't keep everything to yourself. Issei. Why? Gabriel. That will only hurt you more over time. Issei. I'll be fine and if something happens to me you'll come to comfort me. Gabriel. You're still the same. Issei. Sure. Giving him a smile where Gabriel stood up and stood in front of him just to remove the blindfold from his eyes. Gabriel. You have nice eyes, you shouldn't hide them. Issei. If you tell me that you will only make me love you even more. Gabriel. You can act like you really are, you don't have to pretend with me. Since I could see something. Issei. It was to be seen. Letting out a sigh where his eyes lost that great glow only to have a sad look. Issei. I just need someone to open up to me and tell me with me you don't have to pretend you're fine, everything will get better. Gabriel. Some of them will. Issei. Maybe. But acting okay is not always the solution. Gabriel. How did you come to behave this way? Issei. That's an interesting story, would you like to hear it? Gabriel. I have a lot of time. Issei. I know. Well, it all started when I escaped from Rizavam after destroying his place a little bit. Obviously I was all wounded and with a little strength I had I got to the street and a family rescued me. Gabriel. Why you were with him? Issei. I forgot. And returning to the subject, that family took care of me a lot and with time they made me part of their family, but one night they arrived and well you have to give you an idea. Gabriel. Yo. Issei. Don't apologize, in the end it happened. But with them I lived well and they taught me many things. Gabriel. Like what? Issei. Difficult decisions require strong wills. Gabriel. What did you do? Issei. I killed many people to be even stronger, obviously they were bad. I told Aldiers and the rest that they were innocent so they wouldn't bother me. Gabriel. But. Issei. But I lost everything as time went on. There was a time when I was alone until my cousin was born and well I decided to live to see her happy in a world without evil. Gabriel. If you want that, why do you train her then? Issei. Because there will always be evil and well it is better that she knows how to defend herself. That's why I teach her the ugliness of this world and the girls how beautiful it is. Gabriel. She will be the one who will make the decision if this world goes on or not. Issei. Exactly, my dear angel. Gabriel. You have put too much pressure on her. Issei. Maybe. But well it's time to go back. Gabriel. I'm glad to hear that. Issei. Don't forget to come and see me. Gabriel. I promise. Issei. And if you say any of this I promise I'll come to your room and make you very happy. Gabriel. What do you mean by that? Issei. You'll know in time. Giving him a smile and removing the seal where instantly Gabriel felt his abilities again. After seeing Issei for a bit he went back to his home while he walked a bit. When he arrived in heaven he was asked many questions and for the first time Gabriel did not answer and went straight to his room to think about everything that had happened. Azazel wasted no time in going to Issei's house to find out what happened when he destroyed the door. Azazel. Damn you, what did you do to him? Issei. Calm down, old man. Azazel. Cut the crap. Issei. Don't make me angry, old man, or you will see me upset. During this time I left you because it was fun to bother you, but everything has a limit. Azazel. I told you not to go near her. Issei. It's a pity I did. And soon I will go for the most beautiful woman in Grigori. That was the last straw for Azazel, who instantly launched an attack against Issei, giving him several blows that sent him crashing all over his house. And after throwing several spears at him, he let out a sigh because on Saturday it was more than enough. Azazel turned to leave only to hear Issei coughing as he came out of the smoke. Issei. Wow, you destroyed my house. I don't think insurance would cover a crow's fury. Azazel. You should be dead. Issei. Now he understood where Vali got the stupidity from if you trained him. Azazel. Damn you. Issei. I hear you. Azazel. Don't go near Grigori or it will be bad for you. Turning around to leave. Issei. Who gave you permission to leave? A little while ago I told you I was a little upset and to your misfortune I need a punching bag. Azazel turned around only to see a fist near his face. Where he was about to go flying and getting smashed into a wall, but Issei stopped him and started punching him more in the stomach, which knocked all the air out of him. Issei. It's not over yet. Giving him more blows, the soldiers accompanying Azazel were in shock, but hearing Azazel's moans of pain, they came out of their trance and went to help him only to come out with broken bones from Issei. Issei. I know you wish to participate but be a little patient, yes. Watching as Azazel crawled to the exit. Issei. Wow, first time I've seen a leader crawl away from me. That's pathetic, you know. I actually find it hard to believe that you are the leader of the fallen as weak as you are. Azazel. Damn you. Issei. Did I hurt your stomach by telling you the truth? Azazel. It won't stay like this. Issei. Do as you wish, but remember that I always return double favors. Watching as the soldiers took their leader and led him away. Issei only looked around to see his home destroyed. Issei. Poor Ravel will have a lot of work coming back from the academy. Letting out a sigh and going to his room. A week had passed since Azazel attacked Issei, which for the Issei was nothing. Obviously the one who was left in shock was Ravel when she saw such destruction, and even more when she saw Issei's smile. She tried to flee to her house, but it was impossible, and with no other option she had to clean up. Both Jean and OPHIS laughed at what happened to their friend. Issei saw this and asked them to clean up as well. They wanted to refuse, but when they saw Issei's smile, they took a broom and started cleaning. While Issei was lying down on a bunk receiving the sunlight. Bravo. I can use magic, we have been doing this for a long time. Issei. They always had permission to do it. Bravo. Why didn't you say so before? Issei. They didn't ask ha. Jean. Damn you. Issei. Yes, I love you too. Jean. I didn't say that. Issei. Girls, stop all that and better go to the underworld. Bravo. What's wrong? Issei. Nothing important, just that he's being attacked by Rizavum. Bravo. That's important. Jean. Why you haven't even gone? Issei. Well, my cousin is with Yasaka in a safe place, so there's no need. Bravo. But my family. Issei. Sarah-chan hasn't called me. Jean. That's because you always ask for something in return. OPHIS. If you give me something I'll go. Issei. No thanks. Before anyone else could follow, light appeared in front of the group. Issei. Well, but who do we have here? Gabriel. Issei, we need your help. Issei. What did he gain from it? Gabriel. This is not the time for this. But if you help us, I'll accept your appointment. Issei. You tempt me, what else? Gabriel. What do you want? Issei. The date will be between your Penemu and Seraphil. Gabriel. I guess you know we don't get along. Issei. I know. But you have something in common. Gabriel. And that would be. Issei. Me. Gabriel. I will. Issei. I'm glad because I trust you. You're an angel and I know you can't fail me. Turning around to look at the group. Issei. OPHIS, go get the rest of my group. She wordlessly opened a dimensional rift to go in search of the group. Issei. Okay, you two get ready to meet up with my other women. Jean. Even in such a situation you still act like that. Issei. You just listen to me, okay dear. But you guys go ahead and I'll come later. Walking to another place, leaving the group in silence, but seconds later they left to help. Issei walked a bit until he reached a park where he took a seat on a bench. Issei. It's a beautiful day, too bad I have to go play. Letting himself out as he watched the people walk by. He sat for a few minutes until he got up and teleported to the battlefield. When he arrived, he was in the leader's room who were having a conference, but when he saw Issei he was surprised. Auden. What are you doing here, boy? Issei. My beautiful angel wanted me to come. Michael. Gabriel, you promised him. That guy doesn't agree to do something without something in return. Gabriel. I'm sorry, Ani-sama, but it's necessary. Issei. Tell me, Azazel, what it feels like to have the person you love ask your enemy for help. Giving him a smile to see how Azazel was red with annoyance. Issei. Ha, that was the expression I wanted to see. Ricky. Go away, no one needs you. Issei. It's so sad, haven't you seen yourself? You have so many wounds that I feel sorry for you. Ricky. At least I'm fighting while you're just playing around. Issei. What a thing to do. Kakashi. Go away. Issei. I'm already here and I'm a little bored. How about we get down to business? Surziches. Then wait for our orders. Issei. Puff, I take orders from someone like you. You're wrong, my friend. Seraphil. Issei, this is no laughing matter. Rizavum has his entire army attacking us. Issei. What do I care about that? Besides, I'll punish you later for calling me that. Michael. Just don't go overboard. Issei. Just stay out of my way, no problem. Gabriel. Thank you. Issei. Find your best dress, dear. Leaving the room, leaving a big silence and some annoyed people. Some time later, it was a complete massacre of a single side, rather of a single person, and that was Issei, who killed many easily. Some allies who crossed paths had the same fate, which was death. The cane. This is fun. Toga. It reminds me of that day. Tell me, Issei, and if we repeat it. Issei. I refuse. Satyu. I want to keep playing, I hope this never ends. Many soldiers, seeing the group of madmen that Issei had near him, didn't know what to say, since they always killed their enemies painfully. Hestia. Well, with him being here, all this can come to an end. Zeus. You are right, he is a madman who likes to fight. Azazel. Don't you hate him for what he did to your wife? Zeus. Are you forgetting what I did? That's nothing, besides she is free to do what she wants. Hera. Stop this hatred you have for him. You know why we love him, and well, the answer is easy, and it's because he is sincere with what he wants. He doesn't go around telling lies. Michael. He has corrupted them. Junko. Yeah, whatever you say. Seeing in the distance how a group was coming towards them, they all instantly went on the attack in the same way. The days passed and the most annoyed was Rizavum, since everything was going to shit with the arrival of Issei. With no other option, he started his last plan, hoping that with it everything would end. Forming a smile, he went to the place. Issei. Well, I think I've done enough for now. Serafol. It's not over yet. You know he's not out. Issei. You forget that old man is a chicken and doesn't like to show his face. Serafol. Issei, you love us. Issei. What a time to ask such a question. Serafol. You're always joking around, I don't know when you're talking about it. Issei. The answer is easy. Turning around to see Rizavum in the distance with a big smile. Rizavum. This war will come to an end today. Surziches. Give up, you have everything to lose. Rizavum. I never will. This time you have everything to lose, Issei. Ahahahaha, I'm finally going to get rid of you. Opening a portal causing many to shiver. Azazel. Damn, it is that thing. Auden. If you release that creature we will lose everything. Hearing the laughter of Rizavum while Issei just looked at the portal with curiosity. Azazel and Surziches looked at each other and nodded. Using all their strength they went against Issei where they put a device on his back. Azazel. Believe me, this is very personal. I hope you die along with that thing. They both expected a reaction from Issei, but only saw a smile on his face. Quickly with all their power they threw him into the portal where it started to close slowly. When the girls saw Issei there they were scared because they didn't expect such a thing, but before they could speak he went ahead of them. Issei. Remember, the end of the world is in your hands, hahaha. While the portal was slowly closing until it closed. Rizavum without wasting time noticing the shock of many left the place to plan a new strategy. Some were happy for Issei's disappearance and instantly shouted for joy, while others did not get out of the shock. Serafol. You didn't answer me. Letting out a tear, the others started to leave the place. The leaders while they were celebrating thought about Issei's words, but after thinking about it for a while they put it aside. They made up their minds about him. Obviously the happiest one was Azazel since he had been working on the device to seal Issei for a long time. And after so many failures he succeeded, showing a big smile. He looked around to see everyone's happiness, but when he saw Gabriel, he was a little surprised to see how he let out a few tears. Meanwhile Issei was in a dark place until two big red eyes saw him with a murderous intent. He took off the device and saw him with a smile as he pulled up his blindfold. Issei. After all. You're weak. The day had passed since Rizavum's defeat and from that day on he had no choice but to hide. Everyone was celebrating the victory except some who decided to go home. But there was one person who was on the balcony of his room watching the stars until two people came in. Isaka. Juliet, you should eat something, it's late. Who knew? There's something wrong since yesterday you haven't wanted to play. Juliet. He left, didn't he? Isaka heard that and tensed up since she was informed about Issei's sealing and she didn't know how to tell the little girl. Isaka. I don't know. Juliet. I understand. Who knew? He will come back to you. Juliet. I know. Isaka. Even though you're very young you analyze things very quickly. Juliet. This is no time for regrets. Turning around only to leave both Kitsune surprised. Since her eyes were light blue like Issei's. Juliet. It's time for me to start my fun. Having a smile like Issei's and jumping off the balcony. Kunu was about to go stop her, but it was already too late. Isaka approached only to see her leaving the place at a high speed. Kunu. Mom, what are we doing? Isaka. When she wants our help we will give it to her. I just hope she doesn't change too much. Remembering the words Issei told her about the little girl's future. A month had passed since Juliet went her own way. Obviously the girls started to look for her more Gabriel, as he didn't like the path she was going to take. The Haidu family was the happiest since they had gotten rid of Issei, where they instantly did their best to take away all her assets. Knowing how much he had, they couldn't help but hide their surprise as he had many companies and several millions in many accounts. The happiest one was Mickey since in the end she kept her sisters and she didn't care what happened to Juliet. The office looked for her only for a few days and then gave up since he had nothing to do in the human world without Issei, so he returned to the dimensional gap. And so the days passed and then the weeks and then the months until 10 years had passed. At that time there was some peace as Rizavum did not make major attacks as he had a plan. The leaders quickly forgot about Issei as without him around everything was better for Azazel. Many girls went on their way as without Issei they had nothing to do in Japan. Juliet did many things that caught the attention of all the leaders. They sent many people to look for her, but they never found her. Rizavum also sent many of his people to look for her, but they never found her. In another place a Pelagris was lying on a large corpse while whistling. Issei. What a pity that our talk is over soon, don't you think so, friend? Bedding off the corpse only to see that Trixa had no jaw and eyes. Issei. Well, it's time to go back. Besides, let the time pass to see how much I've been missed, and believe me, I'm excited. Turning around, just extend both hands and start to force where a crack began to open. Already having a considerable size, Issei entered into it, where when he came out he was in the same place of the battle. Issei inhaled a large amount of air and then let it out. Issei. Well, it's time to find out what I did wrong. He went to the human world, where he went straight to his bed, which to his surprise was in a bad state. Issei. Ravel, what happened here? Entering from behind to give them a surprise, but when he entered he was surprised to see the place as a pigsty. He walked a little bit until he heard some snoring, and when he approached the room he saw a sleeping girl. Instantly the girl woke up, suddenly looking everywhere, but nothing. Her gaze stopped on a person. She couldn't help but open her eyes in great surprise, as in front of her was her cousin. Issei. Wow, you've grown up. Extending his arms to receive a hug, but what he received from Juliet was a punch in the face that smashed him into a wall. Juliet. That's the first thing you have to say. Issei. Wow, what energy. Juliet. It was 10 damn years. Issei. It was a long vacation. Juliet. You know how long I've been waiting for you. Issei. But I'm back now, even though I'll miss that little girl running towards me. Juliet. A lot of things happened. Taking a seat on the sofa much calmer, Issei sat down next to her as well. Issei. Tell me what I missed so much. Juliet. The Haidu family took everything from us. Issei. That was to be expected. Juliet. It doesn't bother you. Issei. Not at all, on the contrary, it makes me happy that they did it because I'll take it from them, but with interest, ha 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 ha. Julieta. That doesn't sound bad. Issei. Where are they? Juliet looked away, only for Issei to grab her jaw and stare at him, since he had removed his blindfold. Issei. This place is a pigsty. Juliet. I've been busy, I haven't had time to clean up, ha 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 ha. Issei. And my maids, where are they? Julieta. Ravel Ni-san was taken away by her family, and then I found out that the leaders started looking for Jean Mi-san. And OPHIS, well, I haven't seen her. Issei. And the crazy ones. Juliet. They went to play, since without you there was no reason for them to stay. Issei. And the Kitsune and the Angel, as well as Serafal. Juliet. It's been 2 years since I've seen Yusaka. She is fine, as well as Kunu, only that some old people want to marry her off, but she has known what to do. And Gabriel is still looking for me, and I don't know why, just like Serafal. Issei. Well, at least 3 of them are fine. Julieta. And that's the reason why she is like this. Issei. Well, I have a lot of work to do. But first there are people who must be punished. Juliet. Have some compassion for them, yes. Issei. Nope. The Pellegrin stood up where she put on her glasses. She was about to go to take a bath, but Issei took her hand. Juliet. What's wrong? Issei. How many guys have you killed? Juliet. I lost count. Once I ran into the son of the menstruation hair and he wanted to be smart, but I gave him a good gift. Issei. That's the way I like it. Juliet. Ever since I was little I promised myself to be strong to keep up with you. Issei. You're doing well. Juliet. But I also wanted to be by your side. Heading closer to Issei and making circles on Issei's chest with her finger with a smile. Juliet. There is no one more worthy than you. Issei. We'll have to move north. Juliet. I've had a house for a while. Issei. Say no more. Taking Juliet where he put her on his shoulder, where he ran to the room as he had been itching to do so for a while now. The next day they were both on a mountain watching the sunrise. Issei. I hope you girls are ready for me. Because it won't go very well for them. Having a big smile at the thought of all he has to do. It was a new day after so much action by the cousins. Juliet. Well, since you are back, what are the plans? Issei. The list is long, I have a lot to do. The first thing is to punish the girls for leaving so easily. Juliet. Don't go overboard. Issei. I'll see. Then I'll pay a few visits to the people who did look for you. And then I will bother Surziches and Azazel a little bit. And last and most important is to bother our relatives a bit. Juliet. It's a bit of a long schedule. Issei. What can I say, talking to my friend Trixa helped me think a bit. Julieta. Speaking of which, what happened to him? Issei. He died a few days before I got out. He helped me create my list, ha 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 ha. Julieta. His machine. Issei. Well, you go on with your business while I fix things. Julieta. Well, then I'll go to sleep, my hip hurts. Going to her room with difficulty. Issei. I think I overdid it, but it wasn't my fault, the truth is I was a little needy. taking out a sheet of paper from his pocket with a list of everything he had to do. Issei. Tinmarin. Pointing to the names of the girls until he hit on the first one. Issei. Let's see what you've done this time. Leaving the house and then teleporting to the dimensional rift where he heard many explosions in the distance. Knowing what was going on, he let out a sigh and went to investigate, only to see two dragons fighting. Issei. Office. He said it calmly, causing the aforementioned to stop her attacks, while Great Red just arched an eyebrow. The Dragoness looked to Issei's direction, only to be surprised, only to return to her human form. Office. Issei. She couldn't finish as Issei gave her a punch in the abdomen that knocked the air out of her. Great Red, seeing that, opened his eyes like saucers as he didn't expect such a reaction. Issei. Who gave you the permission to come and play with your friend? Office. I. Standing up only to receive a punch in the face that caused him to spit blood. Great Red on this occasion opened his eyes to no more power when he saw such a situation. Issei. I gave you a mission and look what you do. Great Red. Calm down, bruh. Issei. This is nothing. Great Red. It's nothing, look at her. Issei. You better watch it. The dragon turned around only to be left in shock at the sight of the goddess of infinity, with an expression of exultation. Office. Sorry Issei, so punish me more, yes. Great Red. What the actual fuck? Issei. I let my anger guide me, and I forgot that she likes to be mistreated. Great Red. And if so, he would have acted like that against me. Office. It's not the same. Issei. Office, I gave you a mission and you leave her alone. Office. You weren't there. Issei. Just that. Office. That's right. Issei just let out a sigh when he heard such an answer, where he gave her a chat and then put her on all fours. Great Red. I'd better go. Issei. You stay and watch how to educate someone. Great Red. What the fuck are you talking about? Issei just lifted her skirt to give her a spanking. Great Red. Hey, I'm leaving. Issei. I said stay. Great Red. Hey, that's abuse. Issei. Then sue me since I'm spurning the goddess of infinity. Hitting him with everything, making Office scream in pain. Great Red didn't know what to say, seeing what he was seeing. Great Red. I'm leaving. Issei. I've had enough of you, alright, get out of here. Great Red. You guys are crazy. Opening a dimensional gap to leave the place a bit traumatized. Issei for his part continued to punish Office until she was left on the ground with a blank stare. Issei. You better go back home and take care of her. Office. Hi. He was saying it with difficulty. Issei. Well then, pick a name. Showing her the list where the dragon barely pointed to one. Issei. Not bad. Leaving the place, heading to Asgard, where she entered without much difficulty, and after asking a little bit she arrived at the house of a silver hair. He knocked and seconds later someone opened the door, and when he saw Issei, he didn't know what to say. Issei. I'm back, Ross-chan, and I've come for you. Rasuis. But how is that possible? Issei. Why you left my cousin alone? Rasuis. This me. Issei. I told you I was going to punish you if you didn't listen to me. Rasuis. Sorry. Issei. No sorry, but you could calm my anger by wearing this suit. Giving her a bag where when she opened it she was surprised by the clothes and accessories. She was about to say something and saw how Issei took off his blindfold and had a serious look on his face. Without another word she went to change. Minutes later the silver-haired girl came out of the bathroom with some embarrassment. Issei. I knew it would look good on you. And if we tell Yasaka to do you the favor? Rasuis. Please don't. Issei. Well, I'm satisfied. Rasuis. Hey, just this. Issei. You were expecting something else. Rasuis. No, so go away. Issei. Rasuis, I never joked when I said you were going to be mine, but I'm not a monster to make you do anything. Of all the girls I know you are the nicest. Rasuis. I understand, and the truth is that these 10 years I missed you. I couldn't look for your cousin because she brought back bad memories. Looking down with some sadness. Issei. Then you will marry me. Rasuis. Yes. Issei. Well then, let's leave the ceremony for later and go straight to the wedding night. Before the Valkyrie could speak, Issei took her in his arms and took her to his room. The next day Issei left as he had many things to do. Obviously he told Rasuis not to comment anything about his return. Some time later in Kyoto City, mother and daughter were working until someone came in through the window, making them both get on guard, but seeing Issei they could only stay in shock. Issei. Not a good entrance. Isaka. But how? Issei. It was a long vacation and wow, what a change. Yours, Kunu. The last time I saw you were just a little girl. Kunu. It's been 10 years. Issei. I see, and those years have paid off. Isaka. It's serious. Issei. Ha 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 ha, and what can you tell me? Misaka. I tried to look for Juliet but. Issei. Don't worry, she is fine. And very well taken care of, ha 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 ha. Who knew? Wow, you don't even forgive your own family. Issei. It was 10 years and she was the first one I met. But tell me, do you want to make a story of stepfather and daughter? Well, the mother can also join in. Misaka. You can tell that those years haven't done anything for you. Issei. What can I say, and well. Who knew? How many chapters are we talking about? Issei. I like that we're both in sync. Well, as many as you want. Who knew? Sounds good. I'll go give the employees a vacation and I'll be right back. Going to the door to give the order. Who knew? Don't start without me. Issei. Nor you without me. Who knew just smiled at her and then left the room. Misaka. Believe me, I cry for you for a long time. Issei. And you. Misaka. Of course I had fun with you. But before we start having fun, you should know that the heroes have gene. Issei. I see. Then the Devil King must slaughter the heroes this time. Misaka. It will be all in fun, won't it? Issei. Sure, and what about the leaders? Misaka. Same as always, nothing has changed. Issei. I see. I'm already looking forward to pay back Azazel and Surziches for what happened that day. Misaka. And what will you do? Issei. I have a score to settle with Grafia and she will help me to get revenge on Surziches until I put him in a psychiatrist's office, ha 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 ha. Misaka. You're bad. Issei. It's more fun like this. Besides, I have to visit someone else later, but fun first. Noticing someone open the door being Kunu, who had a smile on his face. Misaka just smiled and took Issei's hand and then left the room. That's it, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. With that, take care.